Good morning. This is Current Agenda, the Saturday morning companion where we interrogate the issues shaping our democracy, governance, and national security. So this will be our wrap-up program for the Christmas break. And I must say this has been one wild ride. And we're grateful for your input and time as we have reflected on headlines, heartaches, and triumphs. As usual, this morning we'll begin with unfolding legal and political drama, sparking intense debates about our electoral system, justice delivery, and the limits of executive authority. Are we in for a long legal battle following the Supreme Court's decision earlier this week to suspend parliamentary election rerun in the Kpandai constituency? On Tuesday, the Apex Court put the brakes on the Kpandai parliamentary election rerun, ordering a halt to proceedings. The court also directed MPP's Matthew Nyindam's legal team to serve court papers to the NDC's candidate via substituted service. This follows an application challenging the Tamale High Court's decision, which announced the December 7th parliamentary election in the constituency. The Supreme Court has adjourned the matter to January 13th, 2026, raising concerns about prolonged electoral uncertainty and representation. Still on legal matters, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has announced that Ghana has formally and finally initiated extradition proceedings against former Finance Minister Ken Ofori Atta and an alleged accomplice, Ernest Ofori, from the United States. According to the Attorney General, the extradition was transmitted through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the U.S. Department of Justice. However, he has indicated that the final decision now lies with the American judicial authorities, a position that has sparked debate about sovereignty, prosecutorial authority, and international legal processes. And on national security and parliamentary oversight, the minority in parliament has sharply criticized the government over the deployment of Ghanaian soldiers to Jamaica for post-hurricane reconstruction efforts, and also allegedly to Benin following a recent coup d'etat attempt, I must say. The minority argues that the deployment of the troops from the 48th Engineering Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces was done without prior parliamentary approval, raising serious concerns about transparency, accountability, and constitutional procedure. These are the issues on today's current agenda, and together with my panel, we will discuss, dissect, and make you understand in the most basic way. As usual, Bank of Africa and the NPA are our proud sponsors for Current Agenda. Bank of Africa understands that we all need some financial quick fix every now and then, whether it is a school fees, replacing that old refrigerator, or fixing the car engine to get back on the road. The quick fix loan package was made with you in mind. Seize the opportunity and let your tough times make way for that soft life you've always been dreaming about. Visit any Bank of Africa branch near you today and enjoy unbeatably low interest rate, flexible terms, and straightforward application process. Call Bank of Africa on 0302 429 333 or 0302 249 690 or chat Fafa at www. Apply. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. The NPA says that if you suspect that you did not get the right amount of fuel, if you have issues about the quality of fuel you bought, or if you have experienced bad customer service at any fuel station, don't stress. The NPA is here to assist you. Reach out to their call center on 0302 550 380. I repeat, 0302 550 380. Or feel free to walk into their head office located at JALILU on the N1 highway or any of its regional offices to make a complaint or inquiry. If you experience any of these issues at any fuel station, you have 48 hours back after this break.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
To Current Agenda, your most authoritative news analysis program. My last reflection for the year, this I would call my New Year or Christmas and New Year reflection for my viewers, and then for also a topic, something that I'm sure it cuts across a lot of the low income and then middle income, and even to some extent, the headache of many in Ghana. Securing a roof over one's head has transcended mere housing concerns. It's a relentless fight for survival, particularly for the working class whose earnings are stretched thin between sustenance, transportation, and bills. Rent, which should be a basic and manageable cost of living, has become a predatory burden, quietly draining the financial lifeblood of thousands of hard-working Ghanaians. Consider this reality. The average worker earns less than 6,000 cedis a month, and that is gross salary, not even net, gross salary. Before pension reliefs are taken out, before PAYE is taken out, so we are talking about 6,000. Now let's do some analysis. In places like Christian Village, Keseman, Klagon, and ATEKU, and these names I've mentioned, none of them are prime locations. A single room now costs about 1,000 cedis every month. In Keseman, a modest chamber and hall fetch a steep price of 1,600 cedis, with landlords insisting on a hefty 2-year advance payment. Now, this stretches the limit of affordability. So let's do a bit of maths. If you multiply this 1,600 by 24 months, we're talking about something in the regions of 38,000 and some hundreds of cedis. Workers are being asked to pay this upfront. A worker whose annual income may not even reach 72,000 cedis after tax, whose net income might not even get to 72,000 cedis after tax, is being asked to pay 36 or 38,400 as rent advance for 2 years. Well, would the teacher, the nurse, the young graduate, or the junior civil servant lay hands on such a colossal amount. The consequences are very devastating. So you have young professionals crammed into an overcrowded room. Families end up getting split because they cannot afford adequate space. Others are sinking deep into debt, taking loans just to secure a roof over their heads. Now, the interesting thing is that once you take these loans, by the time your next rent advance is due, your loan will still be running. Salaries are not increasing at that level to be able to say that the increase would be able to accommodate another loan for another 2 years. Yes, greedy landlords are a symptom, and we can blame them. But the thing is that greedy landlords are everywhere in the world, not only in Ghana. But why do they survive here and not other places? The real issue is our institutions letting us down and allowing this to happen. And I'm calling on the Rent Control Department this morning. The department has been largely absent, unable or unwilling to enforce the law. The Rent Act of 1963, the Act 220, is outdated, weak, and routinely ignored. Example, by law, rent advance should not exceed 6 months. Yes, it's in the Act. Not 6 months. But in reality, landlords openly demand 1 to 2 years upfront, and nothing happens to them. There is no consequence. Nothing. They go scot-free. With a housing shortage or deficit of over 1.8 million units, urban migration is also on the rise, and wages stuck in neutral. Landlords are calling the shots, leaving tenants at their mercy. The power imbalance is real, and it's hurting. But this crisis is not without solution. Other countries are doing it. Around the world, better systems exist. In Germany, rent increases are regulated and must be justified. In countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States, rent is paid monthly, not in bulk, with standard security deposits. So what it means is that you always have a 1 month rent deposit with the landlord, a security deposit. One, just in case you decide to leave abruptly or without notice, that money is used to cater for some distractions or some maintenance, and then the balance or whatever is left paid to you. Security deposit, but they make 1 month rent payment. In Singapore, the state actively builds and manages affordable housing for its citizens. Ghana, in this reset economy, we must act. We cannot continue to do the same thing over and over again. We must act. It's time for Parliament to step up. Revise those rent laws to match today's harsh realities. The Rent Control Department needs a teeth to bite. We don't need them just to bark. We need them to have a teeth to bite. Digitize them, resource them, and empower them to crack down on rogue landlords. At best, 6 months advance, no more, no less. Have a cap. Enforce it like your life depends on it. We should introduce rent-to-own schemes as a country. Incentivize compliant landlords. Give them tax reliefs. And create systems that protect both tenants and property owners fairly. This is not just a housing problem. This is a problem of human dignity. A human dignity crisis is what is looming. As rents skyrocket and salaries flatline, The working class is gasping for air. Shelter shouldn't be a privilege for the few. In Maslow's theory, it's basically part of the physiological needs. Shelter is a right for all Ghanaians. The clock is ticking, and change can't come soon enough. The rent control, parliament, and government. We do not hope to enter 2026 and end same with this same issue of rent advance for 2 years around our neck as an albatross. This has been Reflections this morning with me, KOJO. We'll be right back after this break.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach. In 1965, Ghana chose her own value. From cowries and pounds, the city was born, our pride in our own hands. It flowed through markets, palms, and memories, and became part of daily life. Through every season of change, the city has remained a constant in Ghanaian life. In 2007, we took a bold step, ushering in a new era of confidence and stability. Today, the city lives in banks, markets, and apps, rooted in tradition, shaped by history, carried by innovation. 60 years on, it remains our heritage, our identity, our pride. Know the city. Keep it clean.
The streets, the heat, the energy, the heartbeat of the city pounds at one destination only. The Accra Sports Stadium. This December 24, 2025, the Errington Music Group presents the Beam Festival 2025, the Torture Edition. The Beam President Stone Boy returns to the center stage at the biggest African party. This is not just a festival, but another historic night in the making. Tickets are going fast. VVIP 400 cities, VIP 200 cities, regular 50 cities. Dial star 714 star 2025 hash or visit beamfestival.com to secure a spot now for an unforgettable night of music, culture, and unity. For sponsorship and more info, call 0501 550 000. This is a decade of dominance, and the torch still burns bright. Stone Boy Beam Festival 2025, the Torture Edition, Wednesday, December 24th, Accra Sports Stadium. Be there.
Don't see me like a fool because I don't do giddy giddy giddy.
Are you ready for the P3 experience with Ghana's gospel powerhouse, Philippa Befi? This January, get ready for an atmosphere of worship, praise, and prayer with renowned anointed ministers Emmy Newman, Agnes Opukwajeman, Perez Music, OWUSU Pepra, and the powerful voices of Pentecost. Jumadi Bebaso, the first Sunday of 2026, 4th January, 4 p.m. Pepe, Ewo Kukumemle PRWC ATTC Hope. Obiamre Bina Jumadi, free. This event is proudly sponsored by Next Level Energy Drink, KK Prepare Roofing, Tobinco Pharmaceuticals, and Glyco, and our proud media partners, GTV. Come and encounter God as we praise and let's pray for our families and children. It's the P3 experience with Philip Abefi, where praise meets prayer.
Prior to the ruling of the Supreme Court on Tuesday morning, the court was expected to hear the application for certiorari on the ruling of the High Court in Tamale dated November 24, which overturned the win of the former MP for Kpandai constituency, Matthew Nyindam. When the case came up for hearing, Gary Dimakumafo, lawyer for Mr. Nyindam, moved an application for substituted service of the process on the NDC's 2024 parliamentary election candidate, Daniel Nsala-Wakpal, who is the first interested party in the matter. Mr. Nimako said ever since the judgment was obtained at the Tamale High Court, all attempts to serve the NDC side have proved futile. The lawyer then prayed the court for an order for him to serve by posting same on his home address in Kpandai, which was provided in the petition filed at the High Court on 25 January 2025 and also through WhatsApp. After listening to the arguments, the court ordered that Mr. Wakpal be served with all the necessary processes by posting on his digital address, posting on the notice board of both the High Court in Tamale and District Court in Kpandai, and also via his WhatsApp number provided at the court. The court said the service shall remain for 7 days, after which Mr. Wakpal will be deemed served. Justice Gabriel Scott Waman, who read the decision of the 5-member panel, said the EC has been ordered to suspend all arrangements for the rerun of the election in Kpandai scheduled for December 30, pending the determination of the motion for suspension from the High Court in Kpandai. The Apex Court also ordered that Daniel Nsala-Wakpal contact the registrar of the court for the processes after he has been served. The case has been adjourned to January 13, 2026.
Welcome back to the studios. I would introduce my panel. Right after that, we'll start with the discussion on the Kpandai election petition. Order has unfolded within the course of the week. Well, to my immediate left, I have the Member of Parliament for Honorable Bongo.
Yes, that's
for
correct.
Bongo constituency, right? Honorable Charles BAWA-DUA. Honorable Charles BAWA-DUA. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, Coach.
Which region is Bongo?
That's in the Upper East region.
Upper East region.
Yes.
Okay.
And bordering Burkina Faso to the north.
Okay.
And,
welcome to my set for the first time.
Well, yes, that's for this particular one.
Yes, this particular. I know you're a known face at GVC, but welcome. Well, next to him is my brother, Chairman Powers. Powers, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to your viewers.
I hope you're doing well yourself.
We are managing all.
This is our last one for the year.
Yeah, it's
so I'm sure today by the time I end, all of you will sing a Christmas carol. Then next is the freshest graduates in town, the LLM graduate, KWAME, OWUSU, ANSA, Esquire.
ANSA is there. I told you the last time.
It's there.
ANSA is there. OWUSU, DANSO,
KOJO is my friend. I wonder why he's been butchering my name.
I don't know why all of a sudden.
It is because you were chilling in Morocco. Let it be put on record. He's not in Ghana. No. Morocco. The man is in Morocco.
my friend, let what stays behind the camera stays behind the camera.
Will not stay. Since you decided to butcher my name,
KWAME, OWUSU,
DANSO,
Esquire, LLM, His Excellency. KWAME, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How's the flight?
Stressful, man. We are starting the African Cup tomorrow, right?
Oh, is Ghana part? No. I'm not watching. No.
Anyway, so gentlemen,
you know my
welcome.
problem? I'm not a football fan. I only watch when Black Stars is playing.
So yeah,
yes.
You're a Black Star fan.
Yeah, I'm a Black Star fan.
Right.
Black Star
That's nice. Okay, so we'll start the discussions on the Kpandai rerun. Within the week we heard that the Supreme Court, in fact, I think the MPP's MP filed a certiorari, if I'm correct, and which the Supreme Court, the apex court, eventually has asked for the decision of the High Court to be put on hold. That's the decision to rerun that the Parliament had also gone ahead and EC had gone ahead to prepare, whilst they hear the case of the certiorari I think in January, if I'm correct. So I'll start with Honorable, knowing that the NDC had already gone on ground, started campaigning ahead even of the NPP. And this coming to halt the entire process and put a stop. As a political party, what is your position? How have you taken this decision from the Supreme Court?
Well, first of all, let me say good morning to the people of Ghana, and especially my constituents in Bongo, which was on the ground campaigning. There is copious evidence that the MPP and the other candidate, the third candidate, was also campaigning. So all parties were on the ground and campaigning with the hope that the election was going to take place on the 30th of December, and that, God being good, their respective parties would have carried the day. So everybody was campaigning in accordance with the decision of the High Court Tamale that the Kpandai parliamentary elections be rerun on the 30th, within 30 days, and for which the Electoral Commission, in pursuance of that decision, has set the date for elections on the 30th of December. So that is the position. Now, let's go to what happened at the Supreme Court. I think it's important that we put everything in context. There appears to be some misconception as to what has happened in the Supreme Court. People thinking that the election has been put on hold permanently, or perhaps that Matthew Yendam has been successful. That is not the situation. What happened was that after the High Court decision, Tamale, that the elections be rerun, Matthew Yendam claiming that the court had no jurisdiction, the High Court had no jurisdiction to hear the matter on the grounds that, according to him, the petition was filed after 21 days. And that, since the petition was filed after 21 days, the court could not have properly assumed jurisdiction to determine the matter on its merits and to eventually make the orders that it made that the election be rerun within 30 days. Now, having filed this application at the Supreme Court, it was incumbent upon him to serve this application on the parties, including the NDC candidate, Daniel Wakpa. Now, he served the Electoral Commission all right, but he failed to serve the NDC candidate. And we know that until and unless a party has been served, and properly so, the court cannot go ahead to hear a matter. Now, that judicial review, the application by Martin Yendam to quash the decision of the High Court, was set down for hearing on the 16th of December. So on the 16th of December, when the matter was called, and it was very clear and apparent on the face of the record that the NDC candidate had not been served with that substantive application for judicial review, then it meant that the case could not go ahead.
Right.
Notwithstanding that the Electoral Commission had filed their affidavit. Now, apart from this application, this judicial review, to suspend the orders pending the final determination of the judicial review application, which is the substantive case in the matter. That was set down to be heard on the 13th of January. Party to the suit had not been served. The court said, okay, so we have to adjourn this matter and then ensure that the party is served. And then it can proceed to hear the matter. Now, since the court is yet to hear the substantive matter, and also the application for suspension of the orders of the court, it was important that the court will be able to determine that matter. So the court said, now that the election was set to be carried out on the 30th, let us suspend the elections. And then on the 13th of January, the court will hear both the suspension application and then the substantive application for certiorari. So these were the orders of the court. So the court is doing so temporarily. It is not the case that the court has finally determined that the matter is the NDC candidate has no merit in this case and that the orders have been suspended and permanently there will be no election. So it is possible that on the 13th, and I believe so, on the 13th of January, when the court sits down to review all the processes that has happened, it will hear the suspension order, it will hear the substantive action. Now, it is possible that a decision could be taken on the same day on both applications which are before the court. So the court determined that, look, also because the applicant, which is Martin Yindam, is claiming by another application he brought before the court that he is unable to get the NDC candidate to serve, we will make an order for the service by substitution of all the processes, i.e. the substantive action and the affidavit supporting them, and then the motion to suspend the orders of the court should be served on the NDC candidate by substitution. So it's ordered that the processes which they claim they cannot find the NDC candidate to serve. And I find that interesting because this is somebody who is there campaigning. He's openly campaigning, in the constituency, and it should be very easy to find him. But they claim that they were able to serve the court. Okay, so fine. We will find a solution. You have brought an application. We will post processes at the High Court Tamale. We will post processes at the Electoral Commission office. We will post processes, they have copies, soft copies of all the documents will be served on the NDC candidate through WhatsApp, his mobile phone. So these were the orders of God. So it solved the problem of service. And now that the problem of service has been resolved, the matter will be determined on the 13th of January. So I think, if you are very sure or you are convinced that you have a good case, you should go campaigning because the court didn't say don't campaign. No. The court is saying that, look, we should not allow the elections to go on once we have these matters before the court. So suspend the election. So I am sure, and I'm told also that even though there's an order for the suspension of the election, both candidates are still campaigning on the ground. I mean, that is so clearly we must understand that this is not the end of it.
Right.
The 13th of January is very key as to what should happen moving forward.
Right. Thank you. I understand we have the deputy, I think he's a deputy director for elections for the NDC, RASHID TANKO. Computer, he's online joining us via Zoom. Hello, good morning. RASHID, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing too?
Hello. I'm terrific.
You're terrific.
Yeah, of course.
For somebody who, within the course of the week, it looks like the air in your tire has been taken out. It's interesting that you are terrific, both in Suhum and then also even with this Kpandai case. How are you terrific?
Well, let me say good morning to your panel and your cherished viewers across the globe. My brother, the Supreme Court has given us enough time, ample time, to do more campaigning in Kpandai. More campaigning, so that we can widen the gap of defeat that we are going to hand over to the MP because the timing was a bit restrictive. But now that we have gotten additional 13 days, why wouldn't I be happy? Because it has given me more time and my team to sharpen our strategy and to unleash a demolition defeat to the MPP. Of course, the matter will be set aside on the 13th for want of evidence. What they are trying to do is to come through the back door to gain something that doesn't belong to them. Of course, we are going to stop them. As we speak now, we have filed the needed processes, affidavit against what they are trying to do at the Supreme Court. Look, the MPP all along knew that they had lost the Kpandai case. All along they knew. In fact, on the day of the ruling at the Tamale High Court, when they were coming to court, they came with two processes. One was an appeal against the ruling. Another one was a motion to stay the execution of the ruling. If they didn't know they were going to lose the process, do you think they would have come to court with those two processes? They had them in their pockets when they were coming to court. Because we prosecuted the matter from February all the way to November. Look, at case management, when we sat down to set out some of the issues for trial, 3 issues were set down for trial. The MPP lawyers were there, second respondent lawyers. The Electoral Commission lawyers were there. We were there, our lawyers, of course. And we set down the 3 issues for trial. When these 3 issues were set down, nobody raised issue about capacity of the court to hear the matter. None. Nobody. Nobody. Unless otherwise they are telling me that their lawyer didn't know what he was doing when he was participating in the whole process. Nobody. The issue of Gazette notification didn't come out because we had battled the issue from December to January 2025, of which the MPP brought in the 6th January 2025 Gazette of Parliamentary Elections to show to the court that our application of the December 2024 should be dismissed. As of 21st January 2025, we had gone in with a motion to remove that application we put before the court because we have now realized that there was a Gazette of 6th January 2025 in order to file a fresh process on the 25th January 2025. Cost was awarded to us as a political party for the withdrawal, 7,000 we paid, and file a fresh one. Based on that at cost, this is case management period, that 3 issues were set down for the trial, and we started. Now they are in the Supreme Court saying that the court didn't have capacity to listen to this. We will cite some people for fraud and false representation. I said 13th will be very interesting. It will be an interesting day in the annals of the judicial decision of this country, because we are going to make sure that we cite certain people for fraud and false representation. We didn't bring the 6th January. The Electoral Commission was there. They were part and parcel of the process. They never raised any issue about the 6th January. Indeed, they were comfortable with it. For 11 months, we were in court with them, cross-examining them left and right. They now go to, after they have lost the matter, they've run to Supreme Court, clothed as a judicial review. It's not a judicial review. They've gone there on the basis of certiorari, trying to quash the decision of the High Court. They are not looking at the evidence adduced in court about people voting up to 1,400 in one polling station. That is the problem. See, when you are talking about it, we cannot use legal technicalities to rob the people of Kpandai. And that is what MPP is trying to do. And we are going to resist it in the court. We cannot have one polling station voting up to 1,400. The threshold is 750. That is the highest. And one polling station voted 1,400. Another polling station, 1,200. Go and read the ruling of the High Court, and you will see the kind of illegality and the kind of fraud perpetrated against the people of Kpandai. And now they are running to Supreme Court asking that because of technicality, those technicality which is represented by the MPP in connivance with Electoral Commission, made the court to go through these trial processes, or for them to go to Supreme Court, bringing different gazette. We are going to resist it. Our lawyers are ready to back it out on the 30th, and we are very sure that they will be thrown out so that justice will be seen to have been done to the people of Kpandai. That is what we are looking for.
Right. Thank you, Rashid. But also on the Suhum case, I mean, I've heard everything you've said on the Kpandai case, but if you juxtapose that with the Suhum case and what the ratio was when the judge was giving his ruling, it comes across as if all the things that you were alleging as irregularities and as the reason why the results should be cancelled, the judge says that you were not able to demonstrate enough reason why the results should not be accepted. In fact, if I should read, he said that the claims raised by Prince Ado were unsubstantiated or did not meet the legal threshold under Ghana's electoral laws. Was it that you were in a hurry and so could not prepare the right evidence? What was the issue?
Well, the law is the law. I mean, when you go to the law court, you go with your evidence. I mean, they will look at it, they'll assess your evidence, and if they think that has made the threshold, you are likely to be ruled for, your application will be upheld. If they assess your evidence and they realize that it doesn't meet the threshold, why not? You lose. We are respecters of the law. We are the most abiding political party in this country, law-abiding political party in this country. I mean, we respect the decision of the court. We are not going to hold press conference and run down the judge who rule against it at the Supreme Court. We respect the decision of the court. I mean, that is how the law is. You either win or you lose. And we lost this one, and we respect it. Unlike our opponent, when they lost Kpandai, hell was going to break loose in this country. Just Kpandai, they lost Kpandai, and hell was breaking loose all over. You heard them, the minority leader. The press conference is held in Parliament. Run down the judge terribly. And these are people who we respect a lot. They are lawyers of high repute. And look at the words they spew out from their lips against the trial judge at the Tamale High Court. Today, they got favorable ruling at BRAKO-POWERS High Court, and nobody has heard them. They are quiet. The NDC has not held any press conference. Nobody has issued a statement against the judgment. No, we came out and accepted it in good faith and said, yes, we have lost it. So shall it be. We respect the court decision, all right. We thought our opponents would have also risen in that fact. It's the same court. It's the same Ghana legal system that both of us are appealing to them to listen to us. We've lost one, we won the other one, and hell should break loose. Well, the optics are there. Everybody is watching and listening to them. I'm not surprised. Some people think that the country belongs to them, so therefore they need not to lose any case. That should not be the case. You cannot always think that when you go to court, you win. No, that's not the case. You must have enough evidence. I've just given you evidence. We adduced enough evidence in the Kpandai trial. Cross-examine the electoral commissioner and cross-examine the second respondent lawyers, the Nyindam, former MP of Kpandai. We cross-examined them. The judge came to a conclusion that our evidence was enough to warrant cancellation of the entire results. And going, I said they should be reading the ruling, and you will see yourself that a lot of illegalities were perpetrated against the good people of Kpandai. It was terrible. You can't do this to our electoral system. And that is why they were ruled out. Well, we brought another evidence for the Suhum. Unfortunately, it was not enough to warrant a cancellation or call for a rerun. And we lost that one. That is the law. We respect it.
Rashid, I'll come back to you for some follow-ups, but thank you for the explanation given. We've been joined in studio by the Director of Communications for the NPP, Richard AHIAGBAH. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, KOJO.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm quite well.
Right, I'll give you a bit of time.
My seniors who are here, my lecturer here, my good friend, and of course my...
It's either you've not slept so you can't speak louder, or you are just easing yourself into the atmosphere gradually.
Oh, I thought I was speaking loudly.
And now you are.
And my name, KWAME. So I'm happy to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, let me come to you, Kwame.
I think you should go to.
No, I just need him to. I need him to rest for a minute. Then I'll come to.
Are you ready to rest?
Oh no, I mean.
He may forget some of the points.
You want to have to do fire.
He may forget some of them.
Anyway, so Richard, I'm sure you listened to Honorable BAWA-DUA on your way. You missed, okay, but then you heard.
Oh, yes, Rashid. Yes.
So Rashid has made a lot of claims against the NPP.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of it you definitely, like Kwame indicated, you definitely want to react. Yeah. So I'll give you.
Says they are intolerant.
Yeah.
They don't want to respect the decision of Kpandai.
Yeah.
According to Rashid, which I believe is the position of the NDC, the MPP is trying to use legalistic ways to claim the seat when the voice of the people has been reflected in what the High Court eventually did. What's the MPP's response?
It's interesting. It's the other way around. It is they who want to use the law court to possibly get a rerun and steal the seat when we had earned a mandate till the January 6th or so, or before the next parliament, the 10th parliament. We've had a mandate till 2029, I should say. And they are coming through the courts to nullify the will of the people of Kpandai, which was clear and resounding. 3,734 votes determined that Matthew Jindam won the election. So it is they who are going to the court out of the window allowed for any petition in that election to want to obtain that seat. I see my good senior shaking his head, but we think that High Court in Tamale shouldn't have taken this case because that case was filed out of the allowed window, the 21-day window, and that is consequential.
But on that point, not to interrupt you, forgive me, but he makes a very interesting point, that during case management, this point was not made. And all of a sudden, from nowhere, it gets introduced about this doing beyond 21 days. During case management, if it was really the case, why did it not come up? I think he makes, and this I think is...
Who makes the point?
Rashid TANKO mentioned it.
But was he aware that it was a consequential matter, that you have a time bar, okay, within which to come to the court to seek redress or to activate Article 99, right? So when that time period elapses, even if it's an oversight, once it's realized, it must come in because it's not an inconsequential matter. It's significant. So if that's a matter, the fact that we've all forgotten about it or didn't come up doesn't mean it didn't exist. Okay, so as and when somebody brings it to bear, we must act on it because that's the law. So it is they who are coming through the back. And for me, the challenge is, it's not about Kpandai. It's about elections going forward. If we do skirmishes around their way through and then achieve that objective, subsequently, other people will try that. Right now, if this case goes through, tomorrow, somebody can use the opportunity to hear this case as a basis out of the time bar, as a basis to bring future case, okay, against any elections. In other words, our elections will now be determined by the courts instead of the court protecting the will of the people. In a democracy, the role of the court is not to determine who represents the people. the court can protect or should protect the ballot, not to become the ballot. And so what the court is supposed to do must be done, but it ought not to replace the ballot. And so I'm happy, you know, to say that the Supreme Court had come around to intervene in a manner that is putting us back to regular order. Because if you have a right enshrined in the Constitution, that right should not be abridged. It doesn't matter who is in the hurry or who wants to achieve what. Article 99 is clear, okay? Membership of the House ought to be determined by the High Court. The High Court has a say, but there is an appellate jurisdiction that can review that decision by the High Court. That order or that application is pending before a court of appeal to review the ruling of the Tamale High Court. So to quickly, I don't know how to put it, but to quickly railroad the EC through the House, okay, declaring a vacancy, and therefore the EC activates itself to rerun on the balance of the High Court's decision when an appellate jurisdiction exists to review that and is enshrined in the Constitution. You cannot exit that. And no Supreme Court precedent will override that because it is clear in Constitution. Okay? Right. My understanding of the role of the Supreme Court in terms of being the final authority on our Constitution is on matters of interpretation. Article 99 is clear. It's clear that if there is a ruling and you are not satisfied with it, expressly, you can seek the review at the Court of Appeal. So that right is express. So if there is any past precedent ruling that you cannot stop a state institution from doing its work because there is a rule, there's an appeal, it doesn't apply in this case because the right here is constitutional. And so that right cannot be breached. And I am happy that the Supreme Court upheld and see some value in the petition or the prayer that was put before them, especially to request that the process be suspended so that the processes at the appeals court will be gone through. Right. And I think that gives us confidence. And so when RASHID is talking about of the people in a democracy is being given flesh in that ruling to suspend the processes. And I believe that by the time the 13th or so come around, that case at the appeals court, okay, will be discharged and we'll know where we stand as far as going through the provisions of Article 99 is concerned. So for me, I don't think that we are necessarily picking and choosing, happy when we win and unhappy when we lose. We are clear in our mind that at all material times, matters to do with the rights of people in the Constitution must be respected. We'll allow the chips fall where they may in that point. But materially, we want people's rights to be respected. And in this case, the right to appeal the ruling of the High Court in Tamale is a right that we feel must be exercised. And that right we have fully leveraged and we want the opportunity to exhaust that. So once that is given, we await the determination of the appeals court on the matter. Anybody who is saying that, that matter didn't come up, it came up or should have come up, it's in the bosom of the appeals court to see if there's merit. Because in my view, there is. Because the law on its face is clear. It's not subject to interpretation what you should do within 21 days. Out of that, I don't think that it takes any divine judicial insight to be able to tell that 21 days means 21 days. And if you're out of that, you're out of that. Right. And if somebody is out of that, they shouldn't have any claim in any court with respect to that election. And finally, when RASHID was talking about we coming through the law and whatnot. On 7th December, he was in the country. I'm pretty sure he was up north when this election was done. He saw that we won the election. And the difference, they didn't contest in court. Their claim was to do with 41 polling stations.
But his case is that there are some polling stations that you had vote as many as 1,400, which is way above what is allowed, the 700.
But who says it's way above? Are we the electoral commission? Is the MPP electoral commission? We're not electoral commission. That you should pose that question to the electoral commission. We went just like them for people to vote for us. And at the end of the day, if the electoral commission counted the vote and we got that.
In his own words, MPP connived with the electoral commission to steal that election.
And he gave you evidence of our connivance with the AC? He gave you?
Well, confirming 1,400 is what he calls.
No, that's not evidence. That's the result of the connivance. So what is the connivance? What is it? You understand? What is the connivance? Show you a picture that we're in a room doing adding. They have been doing that. That's why he knows. You know the opaque ballot box? The transition from there to a transparent that you can see, they were doing that. They will stuff those and come and put them out. But today, you can't stuff the ballots. Are you saying that the ballots were stuffed? Or there were ballots, strange ballots that were put in the open so people will not see? I don't understand that. So ask him when he's here. I'm sad. Actually, I was coming busily because I thought he would be sitting here. Okay? So I can ask him to tell us what evidence does he have to prove that we...
Maybe the hidden collation and declaration is the evidence, where the NDC was not invited.
But that is not the law. The law does not say that they must be there before any counting is done. If they are saying that, he should remember what happened at KWABENA. What was our candidate there when they counted and their candidate was declared the winner? Does that nullify the result? No.
But
the evidence...
The collation was done at where it's designated for collation to be done. In this instance, it was not done at where designated collation should be done. According to him, it was hidden.
What caused it? They caused it. His candidate caused it. Why they had to move to Tamale?
How so?
They created a mess over there.
Because they saw they were losing. You had the national security, you had all the security apparatus, and you are saying an opposition party members were able to cause an election to stop and halt.
KOJO, we're not here. Didn't we have the same national security more so in Accra, Tema, here, when they overran the police stations, burned the places? Reason why not all the parliamentary results were gazetted on the 24th. For some 5 or 6 constituencies, mostly in Accra, including KWABENA, Tama Central, and the rest of them. We still had that, but their people did the violent thing that they always do. So he should show you evidence of any backroom connivance. If he doesn't have it, he ceases to have the right to continue with that narrative. Right. But the point is that the election has happened on December 7th. We won it. The numbers show that we won it. They have issues to do with 41 police stations, and in that contestation, it's about 500 votes that they are contesting over. How we circle around from 500 to 41 to nullify the entire election is known to them. Reason why they don't want to discuss why they go before a court to petition a matter that is clearly out of time, and now they are seeking to railroad the EC, cause Parliament to issue some vacancy thing, which is actually out of norm with Parliament's own practices over time, with MPs that have stayed in Parliament to prosecute some of these matters until when a final determination was made before they were made to vacate their seats. So where we are now is where we ought to be in law to deal with the matter. But for me, at any material time, issues to do with election should not become the domain of the court. Okay, it should be the will of the people as expressed. Let's try and have the courts protect that. But for the courts to get to a place where they are overturning that, it actually undermines the confidence of the people, the trust of the people in democracy and in the political institutions that supervises our elections.
Thank you, Richard. I know Honorable BAWA-DUA would want to do a lot of... In fact, I even understand that Rashid would want... Rashid would also want to make some... Honorable, I'll come back to you. I'll give you an opportunity to correct you.
So that the public is properly educated.
Okay.
What is reported.
2 minutes, Honorable, please.
Yeah,
make the...
2 minutes.
Yes, 2 minutes.
Richard kept saying, and repeatedly so, that the reason for the Supreme Court ordering the suspension is to enable the Court of Appeal to determine the matter of the 13th.
I didn't say that.
You said that.
I implied that to say that I hope that by the time the 13th come around, the appeals court would have determined this matter.
No, but that is not the purpose.
That is not the purpose. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, and I want to read
So
it.
at least I think he's also
So please, what you have in mind is what you have in mind.
You cannot mislead the public.
Please, hold on.
The public get it right.
I beg you.
Because this discussion is not a legal discussion. It's for purposes of educating the general public. So where it is clearly misleading the general public, we have a duty to get it right.
Please.
Honorable and Richard, I think
I just want to be clear. I want to be clear.
Okay. So
you don't control what I say.
No, so Richard, you have an opportunity.
I just want to be clear. You don't control what I say.
Richard, so clarify what you did that you were saying. So
if you want to hear me, hear me. What I said was that the Supreme Court suspending the election is good. That I hope that by the time 13th come around, the Court of Appeal would have the occasion to discharge that matter. Okay?
So, no, I think this
that's what I said.
Well, let's leave it to go.
Well, of course,
you see, the orders of the Supreme Court have nothing to do with the Court of Appeal proceedings.
I get
but that's not what I am saying. I'm saying that I hope that. So please.
The Supreme Court is saying there's an application for suspending before us.
Yes. But
there's
because you have not done the service
and
to
there has not been service.
Yes.
So let's hold on. Let these processes be served by WhatsApp and other processes.
Yes.
Then when we come on the 13th, we will determine the suspension
which I think
this is what I'm saying. So I'm not sure what you are contesting.
But what he's saying is that he believes
are here.
Please, I've read the same thing you have read. By the point, the impression you are trying to create, I just want it to be corrected.
So the conversation will be one side.
No, but he...
That's the reason I wanted to give an example before the MPP
So the point I want to make is that he can think what he wants to think. He can have the judgment and read it. But what I'm saying, implied in what I said was that...
I think for the...
So I'm not sure where you are not listening to me.
If they play the tape, you will get clearly what you said.
Cut the tape and play for him.
Even if, at least you've come back to clarify what it says. So I'm okay with this one.
No, but that's what I said. You didn't listen to me. Because when I was speaking, I saw you shaking your head. You are prejudiced in listening to me. I don't know what your interest is in that matter.
We must get it right. Because the public must hear.
I was clear.
The public must get it right. Let's not mislead.
On this matter, Richard, I was in court, so I understand what...
Decision by the Supreme Court. The reason given is what has been read in the judgment. That one, there was and the judges are saying that, or the other party is saying that, well, I was not even served the process. And so the court says, okay, don't run the election. Now, if you said you couldn't serve, we'll help you serve. So these are the ways we are going to use to serve.
Yeah.
So once that is served and now you have it, let's come back on the 13th. Now we will listen to that one, listen to the actual case where you say the decision for the High Court should be nullified.
Exactly.
So basically that's what we are saying. So we are on the same page.
You know what is being sought at the Supreme Court will become moot if the Court of Appeal...
That was my question I was going to ask Kwame.
When the Court of Appeal decides that matter, okay,
yes,
then it is perhaps for us, if the Court of Appeal decides that matter and say that that case brought before the High Court in Tamale was out of time. Okay. For us, would have been satisfied.
So
no. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay. So hold on.
Give us opportunity
you are the ones who espouse the position. Gentlemen, give me a minute. I have. Let me just get Rashid. I would have to allow him.
You come back so that
I'll come back. I'll come back. So Rashid, understand he wants to.
The people must be properly educated.
Honorable.
That's why we are here.
Honorable, we'll give you education. But let me give Rashid a minute to rebut something that was said in studio. Rashid.
Well, you see, let me say good morning to my friend Richard. But the truth is, Richard, let's face it, I'm happy you are so much interested with the liberties of peoples to be protected by the courts. But you see, when you go to the court and make false representation, you know that it's a crime. We filed our first petition on 23rd December 2024. You came with a motion in court on 6th January saying that the court should strike out our motion, our application because it will filed outside the Gazette notification of the Electoral Commission. That the election was, the result was not gazetted. And so therefore, there was nothing for us to file against. And that was on the 6th. Then on 21st, you came and filed a supplementary affidavit where you attach a Gazette notification dated 6th January 2025. 6th January, I repeat, you brought it. Your party, NPP, brought that Gazette notification dated 6th January 2025. Based on that, we filed a motion of discontinuation of our 23rd December application and filed problem with. That is the bane of the issue. So it isn't that at the time we're filing, we didn't know that there was no classification. We knew because you brought it, and which was accepted by the Electoral Commission at the case management. So from 6th January to 6th January 2025 to 25th January 2025, calculate how many days? Is that not 19 days? Have we filed outside the 21 mandatory date? Today, if you are in Supreme Court arguing that you don't think the 6th January was the correct one, you are rather brought a different one indicating 24th. Who did false representation before the court? You want to defraud the state with false representation, then you now turn around after we have gone through the process, because the Electoral Commission, which is the originators of the Gazette, they were part of the court case management, and they went through the case throughout. They didn't have any issue with the 6th January notification. That's why I'm saying that 13th will be a very interesting day. But the thing is that, Richard, your people have only succeeded in suspending their defeat, MPP defeat. You've only suspended your defeat. It will ultimately come. It will ultimately come because you cannot defraud by false pretense and expect that the court should grant you such relief. It won't happen.
Thank you for the should I call it a clap back? But Kwame.
No, let Senior address what Uncle said.
No, I'll come to Senior.
Okay.
But Kwame,
yes, sir.
a quick question. So assuming currently the MPP candidate, one, has filed a stay off at the High Court, yes, which I understand was supposed to be held on 18th, but could not because the judge was said to be indisposed. Then again, I know another one has been filed at the Court of Appeal to review. So there are two currently, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Then now the Supreme Court is the third one.
Yes.
Okay. Assuming that for the High Court
goes through
and the stay off is actually granted, what would be the case for the Setirari at the Supreme Court? Maybe just to educate our public.
They must withdraw those processes before the court.
When you say they must withdraw, who is the they?
The petitioners.
So that doesn't mean that the case doesn't automatically become moot.
You see, every court has its own jurisdiction to hear specific matters. Now, the Court of Appeal has supervisory jurisdiction over decisions from the High Court in some cases. And therefore, this particular case, they have filed, they have sent an application to the Court of Appeal to review the decision of the High Court. Is that not the case?
No, they have appealed.
They have appealed?
Yes.
Okay, so they have appealed the decision of the High Court. And it's within the court's jurisdiction to hear that matter.
Yes.
If the court hears the matter, and varied grounds, I mean the time.
My question is not even on the appellate court yet.
Yes.
I'm on the, because there's also another case to the High Court for a stay off.
Yes. So that is also what's it called? A process that can be filed. So I'm saying that in all the processes, the determination of the court will determine the decision of the applicants. If, for instance, the stay is granted at the High Court, then what is the need to go to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court? it will be entirely their decision.
No, I think we can still go to the appeals court.
Yes, but
the stay.
I'll give you an opportunity to, since you are senior here. So
No, maybe senior can educate all of us.
The high court, there's election from going on.
I read nearly every process that has been filed in this case.
Okay.
You see,
No. I want to respond to the specific question that you asked, so that I can proceed. I just
for me, I want
it's education.
it doesn't make it moot. The thing is this. You are saying if the stay is granted. What I'm saying is that the application for stay before the High Court is for stay pending the determination of the appeal before the Court of Appeal.
So until that ends.
Okay. So if there's a stay, it doesn't end the matter.
No, not at all.
The Court of Appeal must now proceed to hear the substantive appeal that is before it.
Okay. So if that at the appeal goes in favor of the NPP, what becomes of the case?
If the appeal goes in favor of the NPP, the effect is that by law, you can no longer appeal to the Court of the Supreme Court because election matters end at the Court of Appeal.
Yes,
so that will end it for them. But the matter before the Supreme Court is entirely different from these other processes. There are two different suits. The Supreme Court can still go ahead to determine whether or not the High Court has jurisdiction to hear the matter.
So that makes it probably a constitutional issue that they need to set.
So yes, for constitutional purposes and for the public to know. So it does not necessarily make it moot. The effect may be the same, but in law, the processes are entirely different.
But that's the point. So I'm saying that if the matter is determined finally at the Court of Appeal, and the applicants or the petitioners decide to withdraw the matter from the Supreme Court cannot hear a matter that is not pending before it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. That it is not entirely moot, depending on the actions of the applicants or the petitioners.
Okay. So if the applicants...
Withdrawal. If the Supreme Court thinks that there is a substantial legal matter for which the Supreme Court must decide, they can refuse your application for withdrawal and go ahead and determine the matter.
So that's the point
I agree.
For future purposes.
Exactly. So that can do
The matters are clear.
That is why you seek leave.
Constitutional matter for the Supreme Court to insist on. It is a matter that we think that the High Court in Tamale decision was not acceptable to us. And we wanted the Supreme Court to review and quash, actually not review, but quash that decision.
Yes,
whilst we are applying, it's a review application, but to quash that decision. And whilst we are pending our application also at the appeals court. So what I was telling you earlier on is that if the Court of Appeal before the 30th decides this matter, we will have no interest in the case at the Supreme Court. That's what I'm saying. Because for us, we want a determination that is fair. So that's just the point I was just making.
So that's the...
I think before you continue, what Senior was trying to put across is that if in the wisdom of the Supreme Court, they feel that there's a likelihood of a repeat of such a situation,
so you need to set a precedent.
They can decide to set the record straight on such matters, so that tomorrow it will regulate future conduct. Is that how we want?
Question. Because then you see the applicants if the applicant has withdrawn the matter, or the petitioner has withdrawn the matter from the Supreme Court, I'm just saying, and the Supreme Court finds the need for the purposes of future education or future clarity, make a determination on the matter. It may not be on the substantive application because nothing will be before it. It may be.
Kwame, the reason why I'm going this angle is that you see
to the facts of the substantive.
Indeed.
You see, when you go to the Supreme Court to withdraw, it is not automatic. You are going to seek leave of the court to withdraw. So it is only when that leave is granted. Then you can be said to have withdrawn. So the court can say, no, we will not grant you leave to withdraw. We are going to determine the matter. So even though you have expressed, even though you have expressed an intention to withdraw, the court can say you will not withdraw.
What MPP has sent before the Supreme Court.
As far as we are concerned,
what I believe the NPP has sent before the Apex Court is a case that, and that's what I said that one, does the High Court have the jurisdiction to listen to a case which was filed beyond the 21? And this is a decision that, if made, has implication on future elections.
Because you see, that
and
is
so that's
contained...
why, even if they go to withdraw, there is the possibility that the Apex Court will say, we need to pass a judgment to guide and guard future elections.
Yes, that is contained in the representation of people. I think my colleague shared it with me, right? And it is very evident that after it is gazetted, 21 days after it is gazetted, on the face of it is clear. But of course, that determination, sometimes there may be matters which are so palpable, but inherently there will be issues, and therefore you need proper interpretation of same. You see, what is before the Supreme Court? Oh no! I'm not talking about interpretation, but I'm just. For the purpose of education. Okay. What is before the Supreme Court is a certiorari application. What it means is that the High Court acted ultra virus on that particular matter. That the time that is, stipulated for the purposes of making such applications is clearly spelled out, but they did not follow same. And the court had no jurisdiction to listen to them or to hear the matter. That is essentially what they are saying.
Okay.
You understand? So now the Supreme Court would have to make a determination whether indeed that is what it is. Perfect. And if that is what it is, then an order will be given by the court.
I think this morning we've done good education. Now, Powers, does this not give an indication that we are getting too much legalistic with our electoral processes in Ghana?
I think it's a valid question, and it tied in straight to what Richard was saying, that we shouldn't allow the court to be taking decisions which ordinarily is expected to have been taken by electorate. I think we must understand that when a court gets an opportunity to determine controversies surrounding parliamentary elections or, by extension, presidential election, the court is not deciding for the people. The court is not deciding for the people, which is why we have the courts. When there are disputes, it is a position of the court to settle matters. Why would the court allow you to determine whether or not you have been validly elected when the other party is contesting same? So the court is simply acting as an umpire, deciding and settling rights and obligations. So it isn't the case, as Richard put it, that the court or our court are needlessly interfering or deciding for the electorate. No. Which was why we have Article 99 when it comes to parliamentary issues. The thing is that every candidate has an election, or he has the right to decide whether or not to contest the results of an election, provided he has ample grounds. And this is basic. You don't need anyone to tell you, or you don't need a suitor to tell you. That's why KOJO have always been saying that we need to get our Supreme Court to be assertive, or not only the Supreme Court, the judiciary to be assertive. Because when they become assertive, any decision they make, it will not be subject to the variances of these political dynamics and partisan, interpretation. I don't think the High Court, in deciding to quash and order a rerun, is needlessly interfering in the election. The High Court has a duty. In fact, when you read the representation of people's law, it is clear. They have a wide array of, decisions, reliefs, things they can order in order to make sure that the right thing is done. I think the electorate marches, they march to the polling centers to cast vote for a particular candidate. Yeah. If it ends out that the particular candidate, their sole candidate, was not validly elected, or the one elected was not the one they had wished to elect, they can challenge it. Even we should be fortunate that it was a candidate who challenged the election. An ordinary electorate could also challenge it. An ordinary electorate could challenge it. That I don't think we voted for you. So on that basis, the court should look into the matter and settle the rights and get the right person. I think these are legitimate calls that we don't need to, dabble in politics and get. I think, KOJO, like Honorable well articulated, the order of the Supreme Court suspending the proceedings of, or the further, the by-election is temporary. It's temporary. And the minute the Supreme Court determines the certiorari application, it ends it. Which was why the advice from RASHID is important. Campaigning, you must campaign. And I agree with him that he has afforded them more time to campaign. And it's true. Because if your sole purpose is that the temporary suspension of the by-election gives you an opportunity to sleep. Then you sleep forever.
I mean, the polls before this indicated that the MPP was slightly. So if he says that they are campaigning, it only means that yes.
No, exactly. The dynamics could change. You get it. So the application before.
Well, it has always been opinion polls. It has always been opinion polls.
So, KOJO, the application before SC has 3 significant factors. So, first one, a favorable decision from the Supreme Court terminates the action both before the Court of Appeal and even maybe the stay. If the stay before the High Court is not heard timely. So, a favorable decision in favor of Matthew Nyindam terminates all the other proceedings. Secondly, a dismissal would mean that the temporary stay lapses. That is the suspension of the by-election lapses. If the High Court does not stay the execution, it means that the Electoral Commission will set a new date and go ahead and conduct the election. Then the third one is that a stay of execution by either the trial court, in fact now they are the High Court. If the High Court refuses, that's when they escalate to the Court of Appeal. So if the High Court delays and that of the Supreme Court lapses, the Electoral Commission will have to set a date. So whichever factor plays out, you must always get your act together. And I've said that the MPP has no time to complain. When the Supreme Court suspended the election, they were happy. I read on social media many of their supporters saying that justice has been done. Sometimes, you see, here's where I berate some of the politicians. When it is in your favor, there's justice. When it is against you, this is injustice. You get it? You can't eat your cake and have it. I think we want to create institutions that are independent. Institutions that when they speak or determine matters, we give those decisions the finality.
Right.
So I think Supreme Court did the right thing by staying the by-election. You know, I have said that if Matthew Nyindam succeeds and we have another MP, we end up having 2 members of parliament. You get it? But this is in the interest of justice. But the NDC has enough time to campaign. As we said, as for opinion poll, the poll conducted by Global Info Analytics, it's just 2, and anything could change.
The margin was, and even that was within his margin of error.
Exactly.
So
this is plus, I think 0.0.
Yes.
The thing is that the dynamics could change. Campaign momentum, voter turnout, and even external or legal political matters would also, change the dynamics. So I think this is a major. The Supreme Court parties respect the decision of the court and stop.
Okay, so I'll do a last round on this case. I'll start with the Honorable again. So, Honorable, what happens now to representation for the people of Kpandai in Parliament from now to 13th?
Yeah, so as it is now, Matthew Nyindam is no longer the MP because the Speaker of Parliament and Parliament has served notice of a vacancy to the Electoral Commission. So there's a vacancy. So we create a situation where for this period, the people of Kpandai are not represented. And that is not a good position. That's why there's a need for us to quickly have these elections rerun so that we can get representation for the people of Kpandai.
It's interesting where you are looking at it.
Oh, yes. I mean,
to quickly listen to the case and...
No, I was coming to that. We need a representation. So whichever will create
it's just what you are going to call alternative to rather be the main case for me.
Oh, no,
but you are NDC, I understand why you are going there.
I need to start with somewhere. And I'm starting there because that is, for me, that is going to be the likely position.
No, but the easier route,
it's not, there's not
less expensive route for us.
No.
It's for the court to say that
we do not
there's
know,
no case, but you go back.
It is possible that on the 13th of January, you go to court and some other intervening factor comes out, the case is urgent and it's delayed. But if a date is set for the election,
it can rain also on that day.
We can have a winner on that day. So either a date is set down clearly for the elections to be rerun and we get a winner, or the court processes produces a result that will ensure that the people of Kpandai are represented. It is important that the people are represented in Parliament. And you see, it is not the court which should determine an MP. The decision of the court should always reflect the will of the people. But we must also know that the elections are not run in a vacuum. Elections are run within a certain legal framework. So if for by reason of some illegality or moves that have violated the law, you have been declared illegal as a winner, when you should not have, under the legal framework, a person is entitled to go to court. But a court in determining a matter must ensure that, look, the person who goes to parliament is representing the will of the people. That is why the court, when it made that decision, did not say that, oh, now, Daniel Wakpal, you become the MP. But that there should be a rerun, so that we know that whoever is going to parliament on the ticket of Kpandai is doing so by the will of the people. So let's hope there's a speedy process. I mean, either the 13th, the Supreme Court is able to deal with this matter one way or the other. Because if the Supreme Court decides that the certiorari application will not succeed and lift the suspension order, we go ahead to have an election. If he decides also that, look, there is substance in Wyndham's case, and that we're going to quash the decision of the Tamale High Court, so be it. Wyndham goes back to court, to the parliament, as a member of parliament.
Right. Kwame, the framers of our constitution and the acts, I believe the reason why Parliament runs to the evening of the 6th of January, and then the next Parliament starts on the 7th, the evening, is because we do not want there to be a gap where the constituencies do not have representation. This act of, from now to the 13th, the constituency would not have a representation. Is it the right thing to be done?
Well, I think that to the extent that laws are working, I believe we should allow the laws to work. I mean, we sat in this country and SAL did not have any representation for 4 years.
I mean, it extends, and that was my follow-up question on it.
Absolutely. And so, you see, in our haste to want to please parties, we may end up rather jeopardizing the legal framework that we have in satisfaction of somebody's interest. I am saying that we run a system where we have independent arms of government. So, for instance, in Parliament, what pertains in Parliament is entirely what pertains in Parliament, albeit that they are subject to some oversight responsibility from the other arms of government. But it is clearly palpable that if you go to Parliament, their rules of engagement, their standing orders and all of those things are significant in the outcomes of their own decisions. So the point I'm trying to establish here is that the decision by the Speaker of Parliament to do what he did finds expression in what is contained in their standing orders. And I don't have any problem with that. To the extent that it is legal, to the extent that it is legitimate, to the extent that it is lawful, I don't have a problem with that. I can appreciate the lacuna that has been created, but that lacuna must not, lead us to making some or reaching some conclusions that it was not supposed to happen to begin with. So let's allow the processes to go. Let's allow the Supreme Court to make its determination. When the Supreme Court finally makes its determination, I think that that's to be settled and everybody will go back to their normal business.
Right. Okay. Richard, so as Honorable indicated, MPP, are you waiting or you are still on grounds campaigning, not knowing what decision will come in January at the Supreme Court? And this one, because you're Director of Communication, you're the best person to ask.
Well, you see, the court processes, for me, are necessary because there's a dispute. But in a democracy, the court interprets the law. It is the people who choose their representation. Anything other than that undermines the Constitution and the whole business of democracy. That must be clear. And so that the law does not lead the democracy we run, the law clause 2 of 99. And then we'll now position the conduct of Parliament, the clerk to Parliament's conduct, realizing that it is the Constitution that gives him the power to communicate that. And the same Constitution provides for redress of the original application at the High Court, and that redress has not been exhausted, then you go and announce there's a vacancy. It's constitutional. It's not anybody appealing a case because a case has happened, they are not happy. It is expressed in the Constitution.
So let me read the 99.2. It says, let me start from the one. So at least it makes sense. So the High Court shall have jurisdiction to hear and determine any question whether a person has been validly elected as a member of Parliament, or the seat of a member has become vacant, or B, a person has been validly elected as a Speaker of Parliament, or having been so elected has vacated the office of Speaker. 2, a person aggrieved by the determination of the High Court under this article may appeal to the Court of Appeal.
Okay, may appeal. So when you elect to appeal, your right has not been extinguished. Your right, I'm sorry, your right not to appeal it, you have extinguished your right. But when you activate your right to appeal, it must be observed. So it means that the matter is not determined because you are not satisfied with the ruling from the High Court. So you have a right in Constitution to appeal that. So we have activated that right of appeal.
Okay,
so
Richard,
until...
Make me understand what you're saying, and let me try and see whether I can. What I hear you saying is that if the lower court...
The High Court.
Okay, so in this case, we are comparing to the... okay, so if the High Court...
Yeah, the Court of Appeal. Just say the Court of Appeal.
Okay, so if the High Court says that, go and rerun this election.
Yes.
And the person is
and
not...
you're still aggrieved.
The person is not happy with this. So goes to the higher court to say that, please... look, I don't think whatever decision has been taken here is fair. So look at it.
Yes.
I saying that by the mere fact that he has gone to that next point, that decision at the High Court should stay off automatically.
I'm saying that, yes. So that used to be the High Court's position, the part of their rule, which was then now amended to say that an appeal does not act automatically as a stay.
Exactly.
Okay? That is the situation now. Whereas before, okay, an appeal in of itself would act as a stay. But then the rules have been reviewed to where now an appeal is not automatic stay of any judgment. And I'm saying that because this is a constitutional right I have that I choose to exercise, that in determining the case in clause 1, I am not happy. And that I have a recourse at the Court of Appeal. And that right has been exercised to appeal the judgment of the High Court. In order to give full effect to the Constitution, the provision in that 99, the election of the rerun ought to have waited till that final resolution.
You mean the declaration by the Speaker?
But I'm saying that, yes, the rerun, which is, of course, the court. And I'm saying that in order to give full effect to the Constitution, my right, which I have chosen to exercise in the Constitution, ought to be observed. So that it is not the same case where you would say that because an appeal does not act as an automatic stay, this one too, that EC can continue. Because this one, the Constitution provides that if I am not happy with that court judgment, which is the judgment in question, which the Parliament is issuing an order to execute by the EC. And we're saying that because the Constitution is clear that I can access that right. I choose not to, but we have chosen to exercise that right. So therefore, everything must stop till that resolution. Otherwise, you have denied me a constitutional right. You have denied me a constitutional right.
Your constitutional right is to appeal.
Yes.
Which you have done. Which you have appealed.
Yes, but that appeal has not been determined. So you have a situation where later in the day, when that appeal, because you are choosing to run on and then execute the election on the 30th, if you don't pay attention to the appeal that I'm seeking, and that appeal succeeds, you create a difficulty, which is why you ought to wait, because we have elected to exercise that right. If we have chosen to go and acquiesce to the ruling from the Tamale High Court, then you can proceed.
Right.
But because we have elected to exercise that right, you ought necessarily to wait if you are being prudent, so that at the determination of the case at the Court of Appeal, and the status quo obtained, then you can proceed with the election. Okay. But anything could happen at the appeals court which may vary or which may create a difficulty for us when you have gone on to elect on the 30th. So then what do you do with the 2 MPs?
So, Senior, this case being made by Richard, prior to coming here, I had 2 people who came up with this same thinking, which probably, I'll take a quick break, but I'll give you an opportunity to explain. So this is what, and that's what I hear Richard saying. So there is a case before the appeals court. Now, assuming the Supreme Court had not come in, and the election is run on 30th, and the NDC candidate wins, then the appeal court decision or the hearing happens subsequent to the 30th. And then the appeal court says, okay, yes, what the MPP brought is actually the case. So we are overturning the decision of the High Court. What then now becomes of the MP that had been elected on 30th vis-a-vis the MP that was elected on December 7th, 2024.
But KOJO, you didn't let me land anyway, but you can let him finish because there's a conclusion that I will draw.
Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds
I will capture. So the point is that what is happening, which my brother and the NDC is hoping is the case, is that summarily they move ahead and execute the order, which is now a contestation at the Court of Appeal, that when then the election is concluded, and touch wood, if they win, then the matter at the appeals court will probably be dealt with anyhow. Or that case probably may not be heard, or they're hoping for something to happen. Because really, the difficulty you are going to create, we have not seen it before, and the court will be minded of what chaos that will create. You understand? So their political thinking is along those lines. So let's hurriedly do this. So let's do that. That's why the behavior of the speaker, in fact, the speaker in recent time has been clear to say that any court communicating with an MP, dealing with an MP, should go through him. But on this occasion, it is a clerk that is acting on this matter. But this matter involves an MP in the House. Why is it in this case that they are dealing directly with the MP and the clerk is the one responding and not him? Because he chose not to protect, okay, the MP. He chose to acquiesce to the political order they are trying to put across. So this thing, it is not law anymore. It is politics that they are advancing. But if it was law, our right enshrined in Article 99, which is being moved at the Court of Appeal, should be allowed a termination. Okay. And until that is done, any effort to run that election is unconstitutional as far as I'm concerned, because we have a right that has not been exhausted.
Okay. I like the part that he said, as far as I'm concerned. So, Senior, 2 minutes, just to give that education. And please stick to the education.
No, if you keep saying he should give education, no, you are allowing him, please.
Education to me.
No, but you have to be clear. He's a political operative that is here.
So,
when you keep saying give education, as if he's a neutral person, everything he does. No.
Richard, at least you should also give me that bit of credibility.
No.
That what I'm asking him in, that's why I called him Senior.
No.
Because I'm asking him to say something. If he says something contrary in law, we are here. We can correct it.
Yeah. So hold on.
Please pardon me.
But he's not a lawyer on the program. He's a political operative. Just hold on.
So when he tilts that direction, I will see it and note it.
No. I'm interested in the matter when I'm here.
Yes.
You are putting him in that space as if he's a neutral person. When you say that, you are putting him as a neutral person. So somebody who is listening to him will not see his politics. But meanwhile, it is his politics is what he's interpreting to you. So it's not education.
Okay.
He is here to advance his party's position.
He's right.
You understand? So if you keep saying that it's to educate as if he's here neutral, no, it's not.
Okay. So I get, Honorable, hold on 1 minute. I get what you are saying 100%. That yes.
I don't even understand why you have Rashid and you have him. I don't understand why. Why do you have Rashid and have him? Why? I don't understand.
Rashid spoke on a specific topic for me, so he's gone. So he's a certain person.
But I'm just saying, why do you have them? We could have had our own election director. Why don't you have him?
As you ask you, why is he not here?
But you didn't ask him. Did you ask me to bring him?
No. You did. We flew out an invitation to people. The ones who accepted have come. You have.
But it didn't come to my notice. You know I'm the director of communication. Okay, so if you wanted to solve that problem, you would have reached out to me. But you brought 2 NDC and brought me and you are positioning him as a neutral person. But let's carry on.
You address that.
Just carry on.
So, I mean, just to give clarity to what you said earlier. My point is that, yes, he is sitting...
Educate. I don't understand. I don't see what he's educating. He's here to advance his politics. Let him talk his politics.
The whole program we are doing this morning is to educate our viewers.
It's not that. It's maybe this gentleman can talk about that.
Are you assuming they do not have their own political affiliation?
Even if they do, they are neutral. They are not
Anyway,
here on any party's ticket.
So I ask a specific question, if you can speak to that one for me.
From the very beginning, the discussion of this topic, I kept saying, and I want to repeat, that what we are discussing now, we are educating the public. So it is important that we do not mislead the public. So you see, it is true that I'm a politician, but I'm also a professional. I'm a professional before a politician, and I have a duty to protect my profession. I can understand the nostalgia to veer into politics, but I decline the politics that Richard is doing.
No, we have 1 minute, 30 seconds. It's still I need you to speak to that specific... when we finish, we'll talk about...
He cites Article 99. 99 allows for a process of appeal. It does not go further to say that when you appeal, then all other things must stop.
Okay, Honorable, you are still doing that.
And it has never been the law. It has never been the law.
Okay, please try and address my question, not Richard's point. My question.
Yes.
My question is, assuming the Supreme Court had not happened, and the election was held on 30th December. At a later date, the appeals court listens to the case the NPP MP filed and overturns the decision of the High Court. Who then becomes the MP for Kpandai?
The appeal court will now nullify the elections that have been held, the subsequent election. You see, also put yourself on the side of the victorious party who has won at the High Court. You understand? And is entitled to be elected. You understand? You still allow Yindam to be there, for God knows how long the appeal court will take to determine the matter. What if the appeal court confirms the decision of the High Court? And in that period, Yindam remains in Parliament when he shouldn't have been. So, whichever side you look at it, but it is better to go on the side of the victorious party to enforce the decision of the High Court, whilst the appeal court is also going on to determine whether or not the High Court decision was right. Okay. Because you can't go in favor of a party who has lost the elections per the court decision, so that he remains in Parliament when there's a decision against him. Whereas the person who is victorious now stays outside because he says he has appealed. Do you know that as we speak, the appeal record from the High Court has not even gone to the Court of Appeal? Do you know when the Court of Appeal will hear the appeal and make such orders? So that is the way to go. And we know that an appeal automatically does not stop execution. And even in constitutional matters, even when you have filed a stay of execution, it does not automatically stop the execution of the matter. So the Speaker the Parliament was completely right in serving the notice of the vacancy on the Electoral Commission. And remember that when earlier the chief whip in Parliament on the majority side, raised an objection to the representation and presence of Yindam in Parliament 2 days or 3 days after the court decision, the Speaker came in and ruled in favor of Yindam and said that, look, by law, when the court makes a decision, there is an automatic stay for 7 days. And insofar as that 7 days had not elapsed, it was wrong for the whip, the chief whip, to seek to restrain Yindam from entering Parliament. That was the decision of the Speaker in favor of Yindam. So it cannot be correct that the Speaker is doing politics and that whichever way he goes,
I'm not sure.
It can't be so.
Okay. I'm not sure.
So and let me say that the duty to notify this Electoral Commission is vested in the Clerk of Parliament, and not the Speaker of Parliament. It's the Clerk of Parliament who must notify. If you read the rules, it will tell you. So the Clerk did nothing wrong in notifying Parliament after the...
Yes, so you are the last person. Yes, so your last take on it?
You're going to go on.
No, you go.
So, could you...
So you're the last person to take my break?
Yeah, so here's the thing. You see, the order of the Supreme Court is significant in another area, in that it affects the election and not the decision of the High Court. And I think Honorable Misa made it clear. So it has not. So in this case, interimly, the High Court decision stands in that the election has been the results have been nullified. Now, I think I also heard that the clerk, there's a process that they cited the clerk for contempt, and I'm wondering why they cited because the clerk was only executing a constitutional provision, Article 1125, was only acting per the provision of the Constitution. And I think we've said it on this platform that when it comes to constitutional matters, particularly the operation and function of constitutional bodies, the ordinary processes that would affect private individuals cannot be extended to constitutional bodies because of what the Supreme Court has said in several cases in order to ensure a functioning society. So things like that, that's why the 7-day automatic stay will apply to constitutional bodies. But beyond it, unless there's an express order from a court saying a judgment, the mere filing of a stay of execution does not stop any constitutional body from executing their responsibilities. So I don't understand why you cite someone for contempt just for doing their responsibility, constitutional responsibility. I think that one was just a misjudgment. And sometimes we need to get our legal team, to help us.
That's your view, because there's no conclusive position on that.
That's your view. The thing is that, Richard, I didn't interrupt. No, relax. No, Richard. Richard, when you had your bite, I didn't interrupt. So please allow me to.
Will you give me a minute? I'll give you a minute. Hold on.
Maybe you can do that to Honorable, but not me, because so allow me to have my bite. So please.
Paris, let's go.
You are castigating the legal
people. So the thing is that just go ahead. The thing is that there's a process. I'm saying that the contempt charges brought against the clerk was much ado about nothing. Because if you look at the position of the Supreme Court, it is clear. And I think MPP as lawyers of good standing who should be in a position to educate them and to tell them that this process will not end you anyway. Now, KOJO, I think
30 seconds more.
Yes. Sometimes we need to get people educated. And in educating people, you have to drop your partisanship.
Exactly.
Because partisanship does not elevate to the status of legality. When you are emotional and partisan by a particular matter, it does not become the position of the court. Which is why I think we will need a manual on parliamentary election disputes, particularly the one we have on the presidential election, which set out guidelines, particularly on periods to determine election petition dispute, but and also timelines on appeal and timeline on state of execution. We need this clarity so that some of these partisan conversations will be addressed. Supreme Court has timeline. So when there's a presidential election dispute, they're able to expedite the process and dispose it of. So we also need we need a guideline for parliamentary election dispute.
Okay. Let me read a few messages.
Just so that.
Once I give you 1 minute, I'll give.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, for me, it's not really a big issue. You see, let's not be pretending that this is a courtroom. Okay, this is not a courtroom.
When you say this, you mean this platform?
Yes, it's not a courtroom.
Okay.
That any conversation we're having here...
It's everybody's opinion.
It's everybody's opinion.
Yes.
The determination of any fact is in the court. Yes. So if you're a lawyer, if you are this and that, you are expressing your view. If you're a politician, you're expressing your view. This whole thing, assuming as though what I am saying or what you are saying is authoritative and conclusive, is erroneous. So if you think that for some reason, by virtue of your legal trading, the decision that a party has taken by a legal director, you are then referring to the same people that they are lawyers, they should be able to know that. I think that is most unfortunate. The determination and the reason that appeal is being filed is because the court...
I don't think you made reference to that.
No. He's saying that... No, please. Is that contempt? Please. Is that contempt? Hold on. I'm referring to the contempt. So that's what he's saying.
How do you measure appeal? No.
But you've been speaking here all the while. But I'm saying that the contempt situation that is saying that we have brought against Parliament, which is most unfortunate...
The clerk.
Against the clerk, which is saying is most unfortunate, is based on the fact that the certiorari application at the Supreme Court, the Parliament is an interested party in that matter. So why do you know about this application and you are proceeding? Okay. It is left now with the court. It is left now with the court to determine that that contempt application we are bringing has grounds or doesn't. You are not a court to determine that here.
I think
so
Richard,
the point
Richard,
I am making is that he is saying that please, you are not a judge. So what he is saying that we don't have a basis is much ado about nothing. He is not seized with the power to make that determination.
I think your
so
opening,
all I'm saying is that
I think your opening of the statement is fantastic.
Yes.
Saying that everybody here is expressing your opinion.
But it's important. It's important to make the point. So he says that action is baseless. I want to accord him that. But I just want your listeners to understand that he doesn't have that power to pronounce it as is, and so therefore it doesn't mean that the people who brought that action are wrong. That's the point I want to make.
The court will determine whether they are wrong or not. Okay, so Honorable, give me a minute. No, Honorable, give me a minute.
What he's saying is conclusive.
I need to, gentlemen.
The law is
Gentlemen,
just give me a minute.
Honorable, give me. Honorable.
You are acquiescing to this thing is a lawyer, and the people are making pronouncement as though that what they are saying is law. It's not.
Richard,
it's his opinion.
Richard,
the law is determined
running by him. I think you need to.
Hold on. No, Honorable, hold on. Honorable, it is my responsibility as the host.
Why do Supreme Court make decisions?
Hold on.
To guide you.
Exactly. Powers. Now, gentlemen,
if you express your opinion,
gentlemen, let's. If you express your opinion,
it refers to people's action to be baseless. What was the meaning of that?
Richard Kwame, Powers, and Honorable BAWA-DUA. In as much as we are saying that we express our opinions on the program, which I agree 100%. However, there's no way we expect anybody to express an opinion which is outside what the law dictates. So that's basically all we are doing here. So whatever it is, Richard has said, I'm not sure it's something outside the law. Whatever Kwame has said, not outside the law. Whatever Powers is saying, and that's basically what we are.
That's not correct. He has said that the clerk of parliament had no business dealing with the court when the speaker is there. When the law, the constitution is clear that it is the clerk of parliament who should notify.
I think that wasn't
the speaker. And you expect the speaker saying that they should deal through him when he has to do that.
The speaker cannot say something that is expressly provided.
That's what he said. The speaker says if you need to get to an end,
viewers. Okay, gentlemen, your microphones are going to be muted. Your microphones are muted. We'll take viewers. We'll take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we will be discussing the Attorney General and the Ofori Atta and the OSP dealings that we have heard, the extradition packet that we understand has been forwarded to the United States. So we'll discuss it when we come back. We'll read a few messages also when we come back and we'll go into it. So please stay with us. We'll be back after this break.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
This is Cooking with Game Changers, and I am your host, Daniel Etin Effiong. I hope you're ready as I am. Cooking with Game Changers!
meets the judges. Am I a bagger? Dr. Cafe, Captain Toba. Let's meet our resident chef, Chef Rotimi. Game changers, are you ready? Let's get cooking! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ultimate game changer is
Hello? Hello, Auntie Abena. You won't believe what just happened. Grandma received her 4 TVs. 4! 4 TVs? Yes, 4! Okay, I'm coming.
I'm not.
It's like a scandal now. You are using it to spread grandma like that. Spread grandma? 4 TVs, 2 fridges, microwave. Abba, KOJO, why? Do you want to open an electrical shop for her?
Hey, no! It's a regular 100 cities I send her.
I'm sure it's Uncle Atu.
Let's call him.
Atu, why?
Atu,
why are you spreading a grandma with appliances? Why?
Me? Spread who? When? How? Please, it could be Amma.
Let's call Amma.
Let me call her.
Hello?
Amma, why?
What are you saying?
Appliances for grandma, no. Why?
Hey, it's not me, oh.
So there are some that are critical.
Let's call grandma.
Let's call grandma.
Hello?
Hey, grandma. So who is buying all those stuff for you?
Call me Granny Cash. Grandma know the joke, the luckiest. If they do me 5 and 5 years. When I buy ticket 100 cedis, I pay them small or big. I automatically get my free gift.
Hey, sir! Yes, so with the luckiest, anytime you buy tickets up to 100 cedis, whether small or at once, you are guaranteed to win a free gift. TV sets, fridges, pampers, airtime, cash. Remember to dial *712#, choose option 4 and follow the prompt. With the luckiest, everybody wins. Even Granny Cash.
Welcome to Maya Villa, your home of comfort, elegance, and warm Ghanaian hospitality. Here, every stay feels personal. Our suites are thoughtfully designed to offer the perfect blend of relaxation and modern sophistication, giving you the peace and comfort you deserve. Unwind and rejuvenate with our premium amenities, take a refreshing dip in our pool, stay active in our fully equipped gym, or escape into tranquility at our serene spa. Embark on a flavorful journey at our restaurant, where Ghanaian and continental dishes are crafted to delight your senses. Planning a meeting or event? Our modern conference and event spaces provide everything you need for successful gatherings, from corporate workshops to intimate celebrations, all supported by 24/7 high-speed internet and dedicated service. Maya Villa, conferences delivered in serenity and luxury. Book your stay today.
MedShay, natural mosquito repellent, highly recommended by Ministry of Health, CHAS and GES, lab tested by Noguchi Medical, field trialed by Atomic Energy Commission. It has no chemical or side effects and is good for all ages and skin type. MedShay is available nationwide. Contact us on 0244892413. This advert is approved by FDA.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor investigated acts of corruption and corruption-related offenses by the former finance minister and his accomplices, and proceeded to file charges in the High Court of Justice against them. On November 19th, 2025, that is this year, my office received a formal request from the Office of the Special Prosecutor to initiate extradition proceedings for Kenneth Ofori Atta and NS Darko Akori from the United States of America. Following a preliminary review, our International Cooperation Unit observed that certain aspects of the request require clarification and enhancements to align with the applicable legal and procedural requirements. We communicated these observations to the Office of the Special Prosecutor via a letter dated 25th November 2025 and requested supplementary documentation to ensure completeness. On December 9th, 2025, the Office of the Special Prosecutor provided a requested additional documentation and addressed the observations that we raised, thereby finalizing the extradition request packages. Subsequently, on December 10, 2025, my office transmitted the complete request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for onward transmission to the competent authorities in the United States of America. That is, in this case, the Department of Justice of the United States. At this point, it is left to the American authorities, especially the judicial authorities, to make a determination on whether a sufficient basis exists for the two accused persons.
Well, so finally, the much-awaited packet, the packet that we have been chasing from the beginning of the year. The much-awaited packet, finally, we've been told by the Attorney General that it's been forwarded to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who would also forward it, or who have forwarded it to the United States for the process for extradition to begin. During the press conference, the Attorney General indicated that he has received information that Ken Ofori-Atta has also engaged services of top lawyers in the United States to fight the extradition, which is his right. And so he cannot in any way assure or give a definite period to expect the extradition to be effected. What we know is that the OSP would send two people, and then also the Attorney General's office also send two people to one monitor and also serve as some follow-up information in terms of any clarifications that the courts in the US would want. But basically, we are now at the mercy of the United States as to whether they would grant it or otherwise.
Kwame. Yes. Finally. Anyway, so I mean, on a lighter note, I don't know whether you saw videos and posts of people saying that before we release Abutrika,
I think Abutrika is already gone.
Ken Ofori-Atta. I mean, that was before he was extradited. Right. But people were saying that we should exchange Abutrika for Ken.
I think even he mentioned it during his press conference.
He did.
He would have been elated if that was
to do so. Because there's a
but
clear...
how are you able to tell it straight? Because you don't know when it starts.
I think
you only
that
hear
when
the person
Abutrika was arrested, we all saw it. When he was extradited, I think has he
from what he said, it means that he's gone. That's the indication.
Yeah, because I mean the time frame was really short. I mean that's not to say that Ken Ofori-Atta has done or perhaps has put some heavy impediments on his way, for which reason we are unable to extradite him. The point is that I think that when you are given an opportunity to serve, the most important thing as an honorable human being for you to do is to account to the people. Whether you have committed an offense, whether you have not committed an offense, account for your stewardship. That is the most important thing. Now, what is striking is that given the important, and let me even rephrase, significant role that Ken Ofori-Atta played in the erstwhile administration, it is important that he comes back to the country and to come and account to the people who gave him the opportunity to serve. And by the way, Ken Ofori-Atta served us, in his own estimation by doing us a favor. You remember, at some point when we were asking him to leave, he said he was a father protecting his children, and it would be unfair for a father to abandon his children in the middle of an ocean. So, I mean, it is clear that this father was not, our father after all. Because if you are a father and we are saying that come and account for what you have done for your children and you are refusing to come, then it's quite unfortunate. Now, the basis upon which he's refusing to come. I think all of us, is known to all of us, that he's unwell. And I do recall that at some point he was unwell when he was even a finance minister. He traveled to the United States to seek medical attention. He was there for a while and then came back to Ghana to come and take care of, in his own words, his children. Now come and account for how you took care of us. You say you are sick. You say you cannot come. I don't understand this.
You don't understand that he's sick?
I don't understand why. It's not about, for being sick. Why? All of us, anybody can. I don't, I'm not questioning whether or not he's sick. I'm questioning why he is refusing to come to the country to face justice, if there's anything like that. Now, let's look at the process as started by the OSP and that of the Attorney General. You recall that we've had several correspondence between the OSP and Mr. Ken Ofori. An invitation was sent to him. Or in the West, usually they say a direction. They directed Mr. Ken Ofori to appear or to attend to the Office of the Special Prosecutor because of some allegations which were leveled against him and some of his people that he worked with. And it continued and continued and continued to a point where it became very axiomatic to all of us that Mr. Ken Ofori was deliberately refusing to make himself available to the Office of the Special Prosecution. And it became, an inflammable situation between the Attorney General and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. In fact, all of us, almost Ghanaians, including myself, thought that there was there were some agreements in secrecy between OSP and Ken Ofori because we did not understand why it was difficult for the OSP to get Ken Ofori to appear before it. All of us had our doubts. I vehemently, on many occasions, made a very strong point against the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Now, the difficulty as expressed by the OSP in getting Ken Ofori to appear before it has been supported, has been buttressed and backed by the Attorney General. Now, it is so clear to me that until we fight to bring Ken Ofori to this country, he is never going to show up. I have read some blogs. In fact, yesterday, I think DW TV had made a publication in respect of what the AG said. And if you read some of the commentaries underneath that post, people are saying, why? Doesn't he have assets that we can confiscate, we can freeze? But all of these things are due process because you are only alleging that somebody has committed an offense. Alleging that somebody has committed an offense is not an offense in itself. And we are under the supervision or if you like, the protection of the Constitution. So, you can merely allege that somebody has committed an offense, but you have to make sure that there's. So you cannot say that Ken has committed an offense. As you have committed an offense, you say you don't want to come. You see, the point is this. Let me be very clear. It is not in doubt that Ken Ofori was the finance minister. That is not in doubt. It is not in doubt that on many occasions we had cause to raise concerns about his involvement, his company's involvement in some government business. Not in doubt. It is not in doubt that the issue of PDS had the shadow hand of Ken Ofori in there. It is not in doubt that this whole ambulance, and I remember that we made some payments to the president's daughter, the former president's daughter, on this ambulance matter, some 33 spare parts or so for some ambulance and things like that. It is not in doubt that his hands he has his shadow hands in there. But what is very striking for me is that at the end of the day, what makes you a credible human being is your ability to face the people that you served. I am pleading, and I know that definitely we're going to get to the bottom of this matter, that the United States Authority will be very kind enough, because at this point, we just have to make sure we plead with them to find a way of releasing Ken Ofori, so that he will come to this country and come and face either the special prosecutor or the...
So Sami Dakun has clarified that Abu Treka is yet to be extradited.
Okay, all right. So maybe we can swap
He has been in the legal process. Should they find merit in us? So yes, so just same thing.
It's governed by the Extradition Act. So clearly, because there's that Extradition Act. But the point is that then maybe Sami Dako should help us. Whether
in fact, he has indicated that
let him call in and explain.
The last US extradition that Ghana had, it took Ghana over a year.
Oh wow!
To complete the extradition.
But ours is so seamless.
Maybe whatever packet they are supposed to bring, it's so.
I mean, I think it is because that there must be a legal justification, for extraditing somebody from the United States to Ghana and vice versa. And that is why the Attorney General is expressing his frustration that Kenneth Rata has actually hired the services of senior attorneys.
But in Ghana, I think in Ghana, when if you are being extradited, you can. I think it's at the district court level that you go and at the US it's at the federal district. Then if the person loses, the person can go and can keep going.
Absolutely.
And
provided you have the funds, and clearly it appears Kenneth Rata has the money.
So that's the reason why in the US it's possible.
It appears our former finance minister is so rich.
For me, I'm speaking to the reason why. In the previous case, he's talking about it could take a year.
Getting top tier lawyers in the US is not small money. Top tier lawyers. It's not small money. Oh, but if you go on Google right now and you Google the top lawyers in Ghana, you find it. If I went on Google right now, I Google the top lawyers.
Top tier lawyer in Ghana.
No, I mean I'm still climbing the ladder. They are top tier lawyers. I mean, they are top tier. No. But
please conclude for me.
You see, but in conclusion, if the AG tells us that they cannot tell us when they can possibly, get Kenneth Rata to this country, I find that a little confusing. Is it to suggest that we will never get the accountability that we so desperately need? Is it also to say that then they must come out and apologize to the Office of the Special Prosecutor? Because the impression was created by the AG itself that the OSP was not working. If you recall, that they said they had requested for the dockets. So I think that then they owe an apology to the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
But the Sami has indicated that even the whatever it is, let's call it, the packet that was submitted to the Attorney General, the only addition that was done was because they have the authority to do the extradition, so they know the procedure. So it's basically an inclusion of amendment on the procedure and some formatting. But the substantive issue, there was no addition.
Yeah, there was no addition.
So technically, whatever the OSP had...
It's just more procedure than form.
Yes.
So the substance was the same.
Yes.
The procedure
so
is what we
means
have
that the OSP all along...
was right.
So it goes back to the point
That's the point I'm making, that they need to then come and apologize to the office because they created the impression, and in fact, we all bought into that assertion. I did. Buy into that assertion. Because all of us, you see, before the election, most of us would face justice because it was so palpable that they had mismanaged the funds of this country. So clearly, I think that the AG owes the OSP an apology.
Right.
Now, they have to work together. All the institutions that are supposed to work together to ensure the successful extradition of Kenneth Rata must work together in concert, in order that in the final analysis we'll be able to bring him into this country.
BRAKO-POWERS. Now, if you check the screen, the breakdown of the 78 charges or the counts, why is the concentration so much on Ken Ofori Atta? That's my first question. And then in the process of answering that, why can't he be tried in absentia if, bottom line, what we need is a decision and a judgment? Why can't that be done?
I think in response to your first question, it is
administration and also the finance minister, an important position around whom most of the transactions revolved. So clearly, the OSP and even the prosecutorial authorities in this country will be interested in having him present without his presence. And they said no, they wanted him here, and I'm glad that they have started because it appears they even the OSP wasted our time. Oh yes,
Because people were saying that.
Follow due process.
No, what is due process? The person says, the thing is that you are unable to secure the presence of the person.
Yeah.
Then does that stop you from going ahead with the matter? In fact, Ghanaians were clamoring that the OSP should go ahead and commence the proceedings in absentia. And they said, no, they had to satisfy the position. But here's the thing. KOJO, I have said, no, but that's why he has lawyers. Don't forget that his lawyers have been in constant communication with the OSP office. And if the OSP had initiated the conversation in court, his lawyers would have stepped in. So it isn't a case that he didn't have lawyers.
In the criminal case, don't you require the person to be there?
No, it's not in all instances. If you are not able to secure the presence of the person, you can proceed. In fact, there are instances. Do you understand? There are instances that the presence of the person, the accused, may not be needed, and the court may determine that.
That may be in a civil matter.
No. In criminal cases, yes, there are instances. In the criminal matter, there are instances where.
Now I've been cautioned not to ask for education.
But the thing is
that's the case.
But I'm saying that, but in criminal cases, there are instances. But it is required.
No, it's that's
you can vary it.
No, that's basic. That's the basic.
You need the person.
No, the basic foundation is that the person must be there.
Yes.
But I'm saying that there are instances that you can
so maybe they are proceeding on that basic assumption that you need the person. That's why. I'm not saying that, but that's what they are operating.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That was their stance. Okay. But now, finally, they've initiated the conversation in court in his absence. So I'm saying that why wasn't there extradition? I think there will be several hiccups, and it will be difficult to extradite Ken. It will be difficult to extradite Ken into this country. And the thing is that I have said that the prosecutorial pushes of both the Attorney General and the Special Prosecutor will affect the extradition process.
The office of the Special Prosecutor,
yes,
you mean?
So no, I'm even talking about the Special Prosecutor himself.
The person, okay.
Yes. I'm saying that there are prosecutorial pushes and some public commentaries could amount to prejudgment. You get it? No, the thing is, I have said that sometimes you may have a fine case, but when you are in the media and you draw certain conclusions, it will amount to you prejudging the matter when the court of competent jurisdiction that have the power to determine the fate of the accused has not had a bite. Now, one of the cardinal principles governing extradition across the world is the principle against political persecution. And this is key on the agenda of the United States. That's true. And even the extradition court in the US and the executive authority are key on this matter. So I think, and the Attorney General well articulated the position that this isn't going to be a walk in the park, where you think that by merely filing, requesting the extradition of Ken, it will be done easily. It's going to be a fight. And I'm saying that the hiccups may come from the prosecutorial process of the OSP, the Special Prosecutor, and the Attorney General in the past, whereby they resorted to the media to draw hasty conclusions on investigations around Ken Ofori. And Ken can invoke the principle of political persecution to stop or to challenge the extradition process. Which is why I feel that this is going to be a very, very hectic journey for the Attorney General. And it's also a reminder that in the many other cases that are before them, they should hasten. Don't draw hasty conclusions. You see, and I've been saying that sometimes when you tell the people that you have a watertight evidence by which reason you will jail this person has stolen this money, you tend to draw certain conclusions and get certain opinions in the minds of Ghanaians. And when you are not, or when you are unable to secure those convictions, what happens? They will feel that the judiciary is either bribed or you didn't do your work well. I'm saying that let's not get to those.
Majority of the time in Ghana, they look at the judiciary.
They tend to blame the judiciary. Yes. That the judiciary acquitted the accused person. That's what I'm saying. Let's be careful. The public has a right to know. But in knowing, be careful of what you are feeding them. do not draw hasty conclusion because you have the prosecutorial authority, and whatever you say will be taken seriously by Ghanaians. So I'm saying that in the whole process, the extradition process in the US is a dual track one which commences from the magistrate or the district court after determining if there's a basis, particularly if they have to look at whether or not the extradition process is lawful, in line with the extradition agreement or treaty, then also in line with their own statute. Then when they make that determination, then they transmit it to the United States Secretary of State. Now the U.S. Secretary of State, who is the final judicial authority, he decides whether or not I will surrender a fugitive or not. So the mere decision or determination by the federal magistrate or district court does not resolve the matter. And even in determining whether or not to surrender a fugitive, they will still take the input of Ken Ofori or his lawyers to determine whether or not there's a basis for them to extradite you to Ghana. So, KOJO, this case, it will take a while. That 1 year that Samidaku was referring to, it could be more or it could be less, depending on whether or not the US is able to, or whether or not Ken is able to make a good case before them.
Right. Okay. BAWA-DUA, on what BRAKO-POWERS just said about the political persecution. Now, when the Attorney General was having the press briefing, he made what I would term cynical comment. He said he doesn't see why Ken is afraid to come to his own country. He should come. And he's saying that he said he's promising him that he will treat him fairly, just as he has done Edubuahin and Hanan. Now, if you make such comments in the face of how everybody thinks that certain bail conditions, certain how press conferences have been done, like Powers has just said, gives the impression that you intend to do something at all costs. Are you not giving Ken more reasons to go and file or defend that what is being done is not prosecution but persecution?
So, what the Attorney General said in terms of those comments, my understanding of them is a reassurance to... no, I'm serious. It is a reassurance to Ken Ofori that when he comes, and I think he should, there will be strict observance of the legal processes in this country. Nothing out of it. Hana, Edubuahin, all went through legal processes as they are observed and applied in this country. So that Attorney General was just reassuring, we will not do anything out of the law. Unless you are saying that Ken Ofori is afraid of the laws of Ghana.
Maybe he's afraid of how we have used the laws of Ghana, asking people to bring landed property even if they don't own one.
Oh, look, let me
so it's within the law.
You see,
but how you are applying it.
Let me say something. Look, I practice in the law courts a lot. And the need to justify bail conditions is not new at all. It is not new. It happens every day in our lower courts, in our high courts. It is not new. So when the same thing is applied to politically affiliated persons or politically exposed persons, we shouldn't say because this is a politician that ought not to have been the case. People steal goods, they are asked to justify.
Well, maybe if those
people
cases
are alleged to have defrauded people, they are asked to justify.
Maybe if those cases were brought to the public domain, we would have made similar complaints.
Yeah, so that is why I'm making the point that it is not new at all. You are being charged of having stolen or caused the loss of a certain sum of money, and you think that there should not be justification.
Yes.
There should be justification.
Presumption of innocence. I mean, Article 14 is clear.
Yes, but there should be justification for it. That is why you are being released on bail. So, Mr. Ofori, he kept the money that we used to run money. You cause the loss of this money, or that you have improperly or irregularly used this money, and you are refusing to come and to respond to those charges, and you say you are a public officer. You recall that earlier in the year, the OSP held a press conference.
Honorable, will it be fair to say that he's refusing to come when he has actually given reasons why he cannot come?
I will talk to that. Early in the year when the OSP held a press conference, he described Ofori as a fugitive, running away from justice, hiding, and that is refusing. His lawyers issued a statement to the effect that no, and you are refusing to come. And you say that you are not a fugitive? And what is more serious, that he has now engaged top lawyers in the U.S.
That is what the Attorney General said. He said he has heard. Yes. So this is not a statement of
so there is information that he has high top lawyers to fight his explanation. Somebody in whom we place the trust.
I like the way Richard is looking at you.
Has now hired top lawyers to fight the desire for him to come and answer these charges, to come and account for the money for which you were holding. Not only him alone. Somebody also described as his chef de cabinet, the one who operated so closely with him, has also run to the U.S. What is it at all that you don't want to come and tell the people of Ghana what you use the money for? And the OSP, I think that they have unnecessarily delayed in the commencement of the extradition processes. This should have come earlier. Maybe we would have reached a certain stage by now. But it's good that they have come along with this, and I'm hoping.
It's the AG that can.
No. The AG will rely on the information that the OSP has provided.
The AG have not requested the information.
No. The AG doesn't have to request. You want this person to prosecute. You know that OSP cannot commence extradition processes. You ought to have provided the request and the information to the AG to, as quickly as possible, start the process. This was recently done. If you listen to the AG's press conference.
You know the red alert notices and all. Those were all processes.
Yes, I am saying that there has been undue delay. We are 1 year ahead. And don't forget that an extradition proceeding is akin to a trial proceeding by itself.
Yes.
The U.S. authorities will have to be sure that there is legal basis. There are actually substantial matters to be able, even in international cases. You remember the popular Assange case?
Yeah, the Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia finance minister will see the need to come voluntarily and respond
so
to
are
the
we saying
charges
that
we
would never commence the case for Ken until we physically see him in
We
Ghana?
can commence the case for Ken, but it is only fair and better for him that he comes to face the charges.
You are now concerned about it's better for him than himself.
The point is that if he doesn't come, we'll go ahead and he cannot be there to give his defense.
Yes. The man has chosen not to do that.
We do not want a situation where he's convicted and said, oh, they didn't hear his side. Listen to the other side. Principles of natural justice.
His lawyers will be there.
He will make it. His lawyers are not coming to give evidence.
They can't.
His lawyers cannot give evidence. His lawyers are coming maybe to cross-examine witnesses who may give evidence against him.
You know, initially he gave an indication that he was ready to
even do it virtually.
Have a virtual conversation with the OSP.
So he can be. And he is not. He is not coming. He should come. What have you done with the money that was given to you for the running of this country?
Is it the physical presence we need or his responses that we need?
What is it? So you are sick. Your chef de cabinet is also sick and cannot come to defend this case. So it is clear that what the OSP said earlier, that Ofori Atta is a fugitive, is really the situation that is now playing out now.
I like the way Richard is quietly looking at you. Richard,
I think he agrees.
I come back to that same. I come back to that same question.
Yes.
What is the difficult? Because for me, we need to want to make a decision, or we want to. So if he has opted that physically he's restricted from moving because of his health, but can be available virtually, what is our hesitation? Why is it difficult for us not to use that route?
Should have asked him.
Oh, he's gone around it. So
yeah, he didn't answer it. So that matter lost why they can't use that avenue. And the special prosecutor himself, in a related matter, corruption matter to do with, I think, Adam
Mahama, the one in the UK.
Yes, the Airbus situation. He traveled to go and interview and talk to people. Today, in our court system, we have e-justice or e-court or whatever. That opportunity is there, but they don't want to use it. But you see, what my brother is saying, Ken Ofori Atta has a right. And extradition processes are not, and an individual elects to have a defense, that's his right. And so let's not find it cumbersome. Let's not find it a bother that he has a legal team to defend his interest. Ticket and come, which is why he's not coming. And so if you have initiated a legal process to bring him forcibly, it is not about Ken Ofori-Atta or anybody involved in the matter. It is about whether Ghana would follow the rule of law or descend into political vendetta and persecution. Those are the choices here. Whether we'll follow the rule of law or descend into political persecution. And I'll tell you that we are descending into political persecution. The Attorney General, as for the OSP, I think his work has terminated and everybody has full view of what he has done, his pronouncement, and the supposition that Ken Ofori-Atta is actually almost guilty. The Attorney General carried on from there, saying they have some evidence, they have this, they have that, they have this, they have this. You know that in the matter to do with Kpandai, you see, are you following?
Yes.
The thing is coming
moved to
undone.
1 CD. It's moved from the
It's
$7
coming
million
undone.
to, even
But
if he gets
meanwhile-
1 CD proof,
Yes.
he's established his case. So
You understand? Meanwhile, we're here in this country, the guy was bundled and pushed around as though that is a common criminal, that he is offended and is guilty as charged by the Attorney General. But what is happening? So that if I am Ken Ofori-Atta,
But to be fair on that case, it's the defense lawyer so far who has done a cross-examination of it. So the prosecution lawyer has not done a cross-examination. So now, maybe when the prosecution lawyer also does a cross-examination, the tide might tilt.
that even doesn't matter. It is the final determination of the court that we should await. So whether somebody is finished or not, that one is not an issue. But I'm just letting you know that the appearance of what was happening and the certainty that we've got this in the bag is not so reflective in the conduct of the case as we have it. So if I am Ken Ofori-Atta, I won't come to this country. Simply because I am not coming to be given a fair trial. I am not coming here, I am assumed guilty. And the very reason the Attorney General would find to assure Ken, now when you come who apply
Honorable
strict...
says reassure.
I understand. The very reason that you will make that assurance...
I want you to say reassure.
Okay.
Reassure even make the assurance little.
Okay.
Reassure.
So he's emphasizing what
Yes.
because they come from the same
Don't be
battalion.
apprehensive.
So I'm saying that the fact that you assure and reassure when the Constitution has already assured fair trial in Article 19 or so, you then find reason to reassure and assure is evidence that there has been some instances where people did not have fair trial and due processes, rights legitimately due to people were not accorded. And so on the basis of that, I can't trust you. If KOJO, you tell me that you'll be nice, that next time when we come, you bring 2 NDC and 1 MPP. Your history tells me that I can't trust you unless I see it.
If your case is airtight, even if I bring 10 NDC, your case is airtight.
Well, but so then in other words, you are trying to make my case not airtight by bringing 2 NDC.
No,
that is a disadvantage to me.
It's not an either-or statement that I made. You can't make an either-or statement.
I'm saying
it cannot be this or that. It's the statement I made is very emphatic.
It's an equitable situation.
You can go to court with 1 lawyer.
NDC.
Defense can come with 1,000 lawyers. If your case is right, it doesn't matter how many lawyers they bring.
But they can use technicality to delay your thing.
The 1 lawyer can also use technicality.
No.
So that's the case. Anyway, continue what
maybe
you're
you
saying.
bring more lawyers because they have more friends in the system.
Now they
can activate that in the background.
You are frolicking now.
You are the one leading us there. But you see,
lawyers can do. 1 lawyer can do this.
Yes.
It's a question of
but so then why is the Attorney General interested in 13 lawyers?
No, it
Why is
doesn't
he
matter.
interested in top-tier lawyers?
No,
because a lawyer is a lawyer, whether it's top-tier or not.
It is not correct that a lawyer is a lawyer.
Well, that is your view, but I'm saying
professionally,
that
you may be a lawyer.
So
your
you go to
ability to defend and prosecute cases are separate from just being a lawyer.
Does it matter to a court which lawyer appears before it? Once it's properly certified and you can't say that you are not a top-tier lawyer, so that matter does not even arise.
It doesn't matter to the court, but it matters to the client.
But we're saying
who is your
the
lawyer.
client is not going to determine the matter. It's the court that will determine the matter. So I don't see the relevance of that.
The matter based on information provided by the lawyer.
So you are suggesting that a lawyer cannot make the case unless it's a top-tier lawyer? Is that what you are saying?
No, it just tells you that he's going for the very best.
You are arguing that
he's going for the very best, the most expensive lawyers, Mr. Ofori.
It has nothing to do with the matter.
Richard, let's
a
go.
lawyer can do that job pro bono. So what about it?
Richard, let's go on.
They can do it the pro bono. Is that not the case?
Yes, it's the case.
So what the NDC is doing
We're
is
talking about the fact that he's giving reason not to be trusted.
Yes.
And he used an analogy which I didn't support.
And they are sitting around trying to coax him. Oh, come, we'll be fair, we'll be this. No, they cannot be fair. What we have in Ghana today is not an invitation to due process. Ken is not being invited to this country to come and be accorded fair trial. He is here to be politically persecuted if he comes. And that is the reason why this extradition proceedings will not amount to much, because the US is minded in their own country, okay, not to allow political persecution. So when you set up a table, and on that table, the idea is to hunt an individual, and he has found refuge in a country that respects rule of law, they cannot bring him in good conscience. He will not come. If I were him, I will not come. Okay, I will not come. But by the way, the NDC, Sedinam Tamaklo, or is she also not a public servant whose trial has been concluded, a member of your party? Where is she?
Okay.
Where is she? So the point we are making here is that the NDC government, this Attorney General, cannot be trusted to respect the law. So therefore, Ken coming to this country, the reason he has to defend himself in these extradition processes, which is a legal process, he has the right to get lawyers because he cannot defend himself. He may elect to do that, but feels he's not competent to do it, so he has good lawyers to defend him. I think that it is his right. So let's not create the impression that the fact that he's gotten lawyers to take him through the process is wrong. It is properly what he ought to do, is in alignment with the law and what is required. And if we allow the law, the abuse to go on, and it is so in Ken's case, I'm telling you that every other civil servant in the future will suffer it. And I think that we don't want to create that precedent. And so let's allow the process to go. And I can tell you that in good conscience, if I were him, I would come. Because the people you are coming to meet are not fair people. That's why they have to come and reiterate that we'll be fair. Because their history suggests they haven't been fair.
Well noted. So I'll read a few messages. Most of my messages are on the reflection I had this morning. Maybe if I'm done and I have a few minutes, I'll just take the viewpoint. It basically was on the issue of rent. So Yakubu says, good morning. Thank you very much for raising this very important rent control issue. Government upon government has glossed over the rent challenge that tenants have suffered from. I wish I could build a flat for every affordable rent, at very affordable rent for workers in particular, where rent will be paid only on monthly basis without rent advance. Another person says that, good morning, and I salute you for bringing the most important topic dear to my life and most Ghanaian workers and families. Extend my greetings to your incoming panelists. Okay. He says that government must take keen interest in the matter of national good. Government must set a rate not more than 200 a month for single room. Okay, that would be difficult. Or 2 bedrooms and hall. Bath and kitchen should not be more than 750. An ordinary single room should be 70 and 8. Okay, this one, I don't know how this will be. I mean, another one that is crazy is how much they charge for hostels for students. I really don't. I see some of the figures and I'm wondering how. How can a student be paying this amount for rent for a semester or for an academic year, 30,000 Ghana cedis. These are people who are even yet to come into the corporate world, and this is how you are teaching them. What you are teaching them. This is also from Gadiel. He says that the reality is that the criminal liabilities against landlords have become just a mirage and seem to lack the enforceable powers, resulting in such menace. Greetings to senior BRAKO-POWERS and the rest of the panel. This one, okay, is speaking on something. Okay, so this one says, Mr. AHIAGBAH is apprehensive of the supposed number of NDC representation. If you have the facts, you are well versed in, and you are well versed in the subject matter. It doesn't matter the number of opponents you have. Okay.
Time is of consequence.
Richard,
they are dividing between two people.
I tried as possible to give you.
So you should give me twice their time.
That's what actually I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No.
Richard, were you keeping the time?
Yes, I am.
Okay, how many minutes did I give you?
You gave me less than you gave the two of them.
Let's do a number. What number did I give you?
I'm saying that you gave less.
What is less? Anyway, Kweku Alapa says that didn't Afenyo Markins and Mr. Fuyata return to Ghana in June and October? Okay, I don't know what he's, but I'll read the last one. Please, my rent has not been paid for the past 8 months. Yet those with evidence of embezzling state funds are working. Okay, are working free. But basically, on the rent,
it is something that I've been pushing. It's an agenda that I've been pushing. When I was the running mate to Alan Chimatin, it was one of the most important issues that I was heralding. The issue of rent must be looked at and re-looked at. Successive governments we've had over the period have done nothing about the issues of rent. It's not about building affordable homes. No, because those homes are not affordable. We must be very intentional about categorizing areas, zoning areas, and putting figures to how much they can charge. We must have a system that will regulate that. It's becoming annoying. That I used to rent in KWABENA back in the day. And I used to pay, how much? 100 cedis or so for Chima and Hall, self-contained. All right? The same building. Nothing has changed. No addition, no subtraction, nothing. Today, they are charging 2,000 Ghana cedis for that same building. Why? Why? The building is there. Nothing has changed.
Again. The building is there.
Do you understand? I'm saying that we must have categorization. I look, and I called Ken Eje because I wanted to go and meet him on this matter. He has refused to pick my call. This issue is a serious issue. This rent issue is a serious national security crisis. We are joking with it. Do a proper categorization. The East Legon Enclave, the Dome KWABENA Enclave, the Ashoman Estate Enclave, the Teshinungwa, whatever, so that we have zones. Even in those places, there are houses that are modern, there are houses that are old. We must regulate it.
Honorable, maybe we'll come through on the private members.
No, on a more serious note, I have designed something that I think would work.
Let's
have a stakeholder. Yeah, let's have a stakeholders engagement on this very important matter. So are people paying 2,000, 3,000 for what madness is that?
I think you're closing on this matter.
Yes, on this matter.
Producers to give you extra time. I don't know why you're closing as if something is going to happen.
No, I have a program right after.
Time has not come yet. 25th is still ahead, so we have time to do something.
I think the conversation should commence at the level of the Parliament, because you see, the Act was enacted in 1963.
Yes.
1963. So most of the provisions of the Act are no longer applicable. Particularly the provisions
the spirit behind it, then it's totally
exactly changed. So the provision saying that buildings should not be rented beyond 6 months, or tenants should not pay their rent beyond 6 months, I think it's no longer applicable. So these are things we should. That's where we should start the conversation from, so that the Act will reflect reality.
We can only have a conversation when there's the
admission. Okay, so I have a live program at 10. So I have a live program at 10.
It's not a joke.
I think that it's a reflection of our general.
What kind of life is this?
This not to respect laws. Even if the Act is good, we must still respect the provision. I have lived in Lome for many years. Over there in Togo, you cannot charge advance for more than 3 months, and it is enforced. So every month you get paid your rent, and nobody will come and ask you for 1 year, 2 year rent. But here we make all the beautiful laws, and we do not enforce them. Even if we do the review and amendment now,
that is changing.
It will come back to the same thing. Let us enforce the law as it exists now. And what we do is
you see, even that man can do just so much to be able to regulate it. But I think that the GRA should come in and tax these people because it's revenue. When you begin to tax them, they will see the visibility and you see that the prices will go down.
Right. Thank you very much. The program will be taking a break for the holidays. We'll return to the screens on the 17th of January. My panel and myself, my back room team, my producer, my director, everybody in the back office, together, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Happy New Year. Enjoy the holidays, but be responsible and do things in a responsible manner. See you again on the 17th. Bye-bye.
GTV, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.
The heat, the energy, the heartbeat of the city pounds at one destination only. The Accra Sports Stadium. This December 24, 2025, the Rerun Music Group presents the Beam Festival 2025, the Torture Edition. The Beam President Stone Boy returns to the center stage.